no steroids, just your body resetting its metabolism. That way it can do the natural thing, which is burn off fat, burn off weight. That's what Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program is designed to do. Give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone call. Results may vary.
Canes hockey is back. Grab an ice cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your Canes. Only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles, so easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Official hard tea and lemonade of the Carolina Hurricanes. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Now Heisen, Jadeke, Keller on the ice for Team USA. Here's Stacy, who has been terrific throughout the game. Puck taken away by Jadeke. Now Keller looking for Heisen. Puck is forced out of the zone, and Keller gathers it in. Now Heisen, as Canada gets fresh skaters on the ice. The outlet pass for Keller, a defenseman. Nice move, cuts to the net, score! Megan Keller, the overtime hero, the United States, wins gold in Milan!
That was something else yesterday. Oh, man. Hope everybody is having a good Friday.
Or Friday.
One of those. If that's where you how you roll.
Oh, yeah.
I hope it's a good one.
The USA Women's Olympic hockey team sure is having a Friday.
That was tremendous yesterday. Incredible hockey. We will discuss it. I am terming this a pray for my level of concentration day.
Oh, my goodness. I know. We needed to pre-record the whole show.
I thought about it, but I was preoccupied with other things this morning.
Yeah.
And the game, Canada-Finland, started at 10:40, so everything would have had to be done by then.
Yeah.
I was sitting here. First of all, we're on YouTube. You can watch the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Go to YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan. Either way, get to us. So I was sitting here frustrated because the whatever station is broadcasting the Olympics here.
Oh.
And I think it's USA right now.
Yeah.
Right? Was watching curling, then I was watching speed skating.
Mm-hmm.
The hockey game started.
Oh, right. And it's good.
Canada, all the players that we watch.
Mm-hmm.
And Finland, all the players that we watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I have Peacock at home. So I have Peacock on my phone. So I had the game up. And look, the game's on.
Right.
And then, I shut my phone off. I look up. I got speed skating. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me a thing.
Yeah.
So pray for my level of concentration today.
I know.
So let's just set where we are in the game. We're going to talk about this. Finland leads Canada 2-1. We are about 4 minutes to go in the second period of the first of our 2 semifinal games. Finland had a 2-0 lead. Sebastian Aho won a face-off on a power play back to Mikko Rantanen. Rantanen one-timer score. Actually, it was more of a wrist shot. He scores. Finland leads. That was first period. Second period with Aho in the penalty box for I saw the play late, so I don't know if he lost his man and then had to take the penalty, but he did. He got in the way of Tom Wilson, and it would have been a sure tap-in goal. So Aho takes the penalty he had to take. Don't know, again, if it was his responsibility to begin with. And then while he was in the box, our old friend Eric Haula
that guy
scored shorthanded to make it 2-0 Finland. Anton Lundell from the Florida Panthers. There's a lot of Florida Panthers involved here, by the way. 5 in the game, I think.
Yeah.
6 in the game. Six in the game. And he got his stick up high on Brad Marchand, a teammate with Florida. He goes to the penalty box, and Cale Makar's shot deflected in by Sam Reinhart, and now it is 2-1. We are about 3.5 minutes left in the second period. A developing situation.
Yes.
Spoke to Rod Brindamore yesterday. He felt, and I agreed with him, and I do still, although it ain't playing out this way, that because both the U.S. and Canada were both involved in very difficult, losable games yesterday, he felt like they'd relax a little bit more and play. Here's the thing. Finland's good.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that in hockey, there's not a big gap in between these two teams. Does Canada have the better players? Yup.
Yeah.
But Finland's got world-class players top to bottom too.
And they're trying to make up for 4 nations.
Yeah,
Potentially.
this is awesome. So it has been a great, great hockey game. Shall we start? I don't even know if I'll do anything different than I just did. I mean, I'm kind of busy.
Right.
Why does the show get in the way of me watching this game?
I know.
Why? By the way,
Well, it was rude of the Olympics to put it on during the show, so.
everything happens during the show.
Yeah, parties.
We don't go to
the
parties.
Olympics.
Later on in the second hour, because we desperately need to watch the game.
Yeah.
So Cory Lavalette covers the Hurricanes for the Athletic and North State Journal.
Yeah.
He's going to come on and will probably be, my guess is, on the other side of the 10-minute mark of the third period. So we're going to watch the game together on the radio.
That'll be fun.
I said, we could tape it.
Right.
Right? He goes, let's just have some fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Man,
I appreciate Cory doing that.
Do we have some popcorn? Because then it'd be really like we're at the arena.
It's afternoon. Why can't... Never mind. I could. You can't.
Exactly.
You're operating machinery back there.
Unfortunately, that box is not checked for me back here.
Right. And I don't want it either. All right. So we will talk about this. Finland is pushing here, but we're inside of 2 minutes left in the second period with the Finns up 2-1. It has been a great game. All right. I already explained the 3 goals that were scored, but let's get into an issue with regards to Olympic hockey that we knew everybody was afraid of. So no Sidney Crosby today. By the way, Seth Jarvis, because there is no Crosby, he has been skating on a second line with Nathan MacKinnon and Bo Horvat. Of course, MacKinnon is now skating with McDavid and Macklin Celebrini because Canada's trailing and they're pushing their best players together. So the lines have been a little bit jumbled. I have seen Seth. I think Seth, when I have seen him, has done what Seth Jarvis generally does, which is involve himself in everything. But I will tell you this. Sebastian Aho has played very, very well.
Look at them with the Mac attack up here.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid,
Yeah.
McKinnon, and Macklin.
That's what it is. It is the return of the Mac.
It is.
Yeah. Celebrini has been tremendous.
So good.
Hasn't been, I don't believe, a great Olympics for Nathan MacKinnon. Hasn't.
Yeah.
He's been frustrated. Connor McDavid is who he is, man. He's a point machine. But we have not, I don't believe we've seen the best of Nathan MacKinnon, although I think he's got plenty of points. He hasn't looked. Maybe he misses Martin Necas.
Maybe.
Could be. Anyway, very late in the second period. So, here, by the way, USA-Slovakia is at 3:10 today. The NHL's worst nightmare played out in front of them. And we'll just start with the injury that cost a player the rest of the season that we know of, Kevin Fiala of the Los Angeles Kings. Out for the year, leg injury, gruesome, all of that. Like you could tell, his leg on the ice, leg's not supposed to bend in that way. He had surgery and then flew home.
Not good.
Okay. Kevin Fiala is one thing. We don't know the extent, but Sidney Crosby is another. And we don't, he's not playing today. He left the game early in the second period on Wednesday in their comeback win over Czechia. And he is not playing today. So if Crosby, who is normally incredibly durable, I know he had his concussion issues earlier in his career, but Crosby is normally incredibly durable and has a high pain threshold. If he had to leave the game and couldn't return, and if he was not capable of playing today, I definitely think that Sunday, if Canada were to survive here, is a very, very unlikely go for him. I'm just guessing, right? Because if you couldn't play today, there's a reason he can't play today. But, of course, I don't know this for a fact. And that would be, if you're a Pittsburgh Penguins, forget about a fan. If you are the owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins, if you are the commissioner of the National Hockey League, and a player like Sidney Crosby is lost to you for the rest of the season, or for a sizable enough chunk that it costs the Penguins a playoff spot, this is your worst nightmare when it comes to the Olympics. And I think it's a complicated issue because players get hurt in the NHL too. Mm-hmm. So this could have happened in a game between the Penguins and Flyers, and nobody would have thought anything of it. Had Kevin Fiala for the LA Kings been playing Tom Wilson for the Washington Capitals, and by the way, Wilson didn't do anything wrong in the play. The more I've seen it, the more it's just a freak. And honestly, Wilson fell on him, which is really where the injury happened. But had that been a league game, nobody would have said anything about it. But it wasn't a league game. It's not a game the National Hockey League controls. And even though we're playing on mostly an NHL-sized rink, and we've got NHL officials, and we're playing mostly an NHL-style game, the fact that it's not an NHL game is an issue to the 32 NHL owners and to the commissioner and to the television networks and to every way possible the league makes money. Because again, this tournament does not belong to them. It belongs to the IIHF and the IOC. And I don't know how you quantify what the impact is in terms of exposure of what we are seeing. It has been incredible hockey. Not to get hyperbolic about it, Wednesday's quarterfinals, at least the three that we were all awake for, because very few of us were awake for Slovakia's 6-2 win over Germany, which started at 6:10.
Right.
I mean, I was up, but I wasn't watching it.
No.
But I saw the others, either in full or the critical parts of it. And that was an incredible afternoon of high-level NHL hockey, worn, played by players wearing their nation's uniforms. Incredible day. I can't think of a day that had hockey of that caliber, where the games, all three go to overtime. Here, overtime, I'm not saying 5-on-5 overtime is boring or anything like that. And I would not want to decide a Stanley Cup playoff game in a 3-on-3 overtime. But in a tournament setting like this, where you've got to get the games over, you don't want somebody playing 5 overtimes on a Tuesday and then having to come back on a Wednesday. You don't want that. So we have to get the games to a conclusion without killing these guys. 3-on-3 overtime is probably the way to do it, because you're getting scoring chances. None of these games lasted very long in overtime. I think we might have played 8 minutes in one of them. So, but all three of those games that we watched on Wednesday all went to overtime. It was incredible theater. The Olympics are a different beast when it comes to eyeballs watching. NHL hockey, while available pretty much around the world, where they play hockey. In the Olympics, however, every nation that has the Olympics on TV, how many of those are there? 200? Have access to watch this. Everywhere. Billions of people.
At least until they put speed skating back up. Ruin our fun.
So I think we're done with I started talking on the radio. I forgot to watch. I think we're done with the second period.
Yeah.
I believe it's still 2-1. But everywhere on the globe where they have interest in the Olympics, they could be and likely are watching this game. Every hockey-playing nation in the world is locked into what we are seeing here. And for a lot of people, because, productivity must be low today, it is here. We're watching this.
Yep.
And it's high-level NHL caliber hockey. But the NHL isn't. There are no cash registers going off. We're not compiling television ratings for the NHL's TV packages. The two networks that cover NHL hockey right now, TNT and ESPN. They ain't broadcasting this. It's the old carrier. NBC is broadcasting it. So, and think about this. Because the gold medal game, let's just assume Canada survives this, because right now, 20 minutes to go, they're 1 goal in arrears. Canada survives it. The U.S. makes it. We got Canada-USA hockey at 8:10 a.m. Sunday morning. 8:10.
Right.
If you live on the West Coast,
Oof.
5:10.
Right.
Brutal. Get in the way of my Premier League time, but it's okay. I'll live with it.
Yeah.
Right? Peacock is going to get a workout on Sunday.
Let's keep it going.
But imagine if this were in prime time. Imagine if this were Sunday afternoon, because in 2034, when the Olympics come to Salt Lake City, the next Winter Olympics are basically down the street from where we are now. They're in the French Alps, as opposed to the Italian Alps. So 8 years from now, in the United States, if this game is Canada-US and they play it on a Sunday afternoon, let's just say at 1 o'clock as opposed to 8 a.m.
Or even the 4:25 that football has their prime day.
You know what? The reason that the game is a morning game.
Because it's in Italy.
Well, yes, but so there it'll be 2:10 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is because they have to get it done because of the closing ceremonies. So it's for that reason. My guess is, since the IOC sets the schedule, it would be the same in Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get that game over with. So early afternoon is probably best case scenario for having that game, the gold medal match for men's hockey. But think about a television rating in the U.S. where everybody's awake and out of the barn.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get that here. 8 a.m., right? It's just hard to put a dollar figure on it. And unfortunately, the National Hockey League has shut down their operation for 3 weeks. And 32 owners are they see money leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all about money. So it is very, very difficult. And it's throw one more wrinkle in this before I move on. It comes the week after the National Football League shutdown in terms of their season. Super Bowl, a week later, boom, no hockey. Come on. Come on.
I know.
So,
scheduling.
Yeah, everything is unfortunate for the NHL.
Yeah.
So we talked to Rod yesterday. He has said it. Play this in the Summer Olympics. The NBA doesn't have to shut their season down because they're in the summer games. I get it. It's just kind of hard to have ice hockey in the Summer Olympics. And by the way, I have not added it up. I'll say there are 3 times as many events in the Summer Olympics as there are in the Winter Games.
Yeah, I'd agree.
We have to come up with mixed doubles with pets on a luge to add to the Olympic calendar.
Right.
In the Winter Games.
Yeah. Skeleton with one person.
Right.
Skeleton with 2 people.
2 people and a pizza. Right.
Yeah,
it's just crazy. We're Uber. Never mind.
Right.
All right. Let's talk about what we saw yesterday afternoon. An incredible game for women's hockey. USA winning it in overtime, 2-1. Here's how it sounded.
The outlet pass for Keller, a defenseman. Nice move. Cuts to the net. Score! Megan Keller, the overtime hero. United States wins gold in Milan.
That was incredible. So, before then, Hillary Knight, one of the GOATs of women's hockey, scores on a deflection with about 2 minutes to go. The U.S. trailed almost the entire game. Canada scored a shorthanded goal right away to start the second period, and that was it. And the U.S. was frustrated. They were playing better. Canada was the better team yesterday. If we're looking at a 60-minute game, Canada was the better team. They deserved to win that game. It was incredible how tense that was. And you could tell the U.S. was frustrated. And then, I believe it was right after they pulled, the U.S. pulled their goalie, who played very well. And Layla Edwards, the future of women's hockey, kind of drifted into the middle. She found a little bit of a lane, wrist shot on net, and Hillary Knight in front deflects it down, and it bounces past Canada's goaltender. It was a great goal. That got them even, and you could tell that it relaxed them.
Yeah.
And they pretty much were dominant from that point on.
They needed it. You could tell it was getting in their heads.
But there was, it had been that way for basically 60 minutes. And then the goal, for those Hurricanes fans who are listening or watching on YouTube, Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan, the goal that Megan Keller scored reminded me of a goal that Nick Valine scored for the Hurricanes against the New Jersey Devils in one of those playoff games where Carolina came back to beat New Jersey, where he came in down the right and he comes in on Brodeur, except that Valine actually never shot the puck. His momentum carrying the puck towards the net, he kind of never made contact with it again, but it still got through Brodeur because there was just all sorts of chaos with him barreling down on the goaltender. Megan Keller, actually, she got around a defender. She kind of passed the puck to herself. It was a great play and a dynamite goal to win the gold medal. And you could, like I felt for Martin Necas and the Czechs when they lost to Canada. Canada was just crushed in the gold medal game. Just an incredible, incredible game. One more item that has nothing to do with Olympic hockey. I don't know how many. We have some people here who live in North Carolina, who grew up in Chicago, who are Bears fans. Could you root for the Indiana Bears?
No, like real life Chicago. No.
So apparently, Northwest Indiana. Maybe it's Gary. I don't know if it's Gary, Indiana or not. And it's sort of a suburb of Chicago. Not really. So the Bears, who have struggled to find a workable solution with the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois for a new stadium, is threatening, about to agree with Indiana to move the Bears there. So, a couple of very quick thoughts on that. First of all, here's Courtney Cronin from ESPN, who says, not so fast, my friend.
I just want to reiterate, it's not a done deal that they're leaving yet, but the rhetoric around this, considering how many issues they've had with the state of Illinois, you can't fault the Bears for trying to go another path, but they're kind of talking out of both sides of their mouth right now because they just had a very long, very productive, from what I was told, meeting with the state of Illinois to try to move things forward to keep them in Illinois. And then one day later, they're like, yeah, by the way, this bill passed and it gives us a path to get to Indiana if we want to do that. What one man won't, another man will. That is the message here.
All right. First of all, the only thing I really didn't like to hear there was you can't fault the Bears. Hell, you can't.
You
can absolutely fault the Bears.
Absolutely can.
So, in many ways, for those people like me who grew up in the New York area that saw teams move to New Jersey, the Jets and Giants still call themselves New York. Neither lives or works in New York. The Jets and Giants both have headquarters in New Jersey. They both play their home games in New Jersey. If I were the governor of New Jersey, I would be mad that they're not called the New Jersey Jets and the New Jersey Giants. The New Jersey Devils, who never played in New York, I get it. They're in New Jersey. It doesn't offend anybody else. Those two franchises should be called New Jersey because they don't do anything in New York. Jets used to. Giants moved to the Meadowlands. Then the Jets, however many years later, 7 or 8 years later, joined them because they didn't want to play in Shea Stadium anymore. Whatever. Their mistake. But for me, if you are the Chicago Bears, this is a threat. I'm not saying one that they won't do, but this is not playing your games in East Rutherford, 12 miles, 3 exits on the New Jersey Turnpike from New York City. This is not that.
No.
This is 90 minutes?
Yeah.
Something
Significant.
like that, right? This is, what about the people who live north of Chicago? So you are playing your games. The Chicago Bears would be playing your games actually in another media market because if it's Gary, Indiana, I believe it's another actual media market.
Yeah.
So it's not the same, and you can blame the Bears, and you should blame the Bears. We'll see what happens with this.
For such an old franchise and one that's family owned, you would think they would want to keep them in Illinois.
They do.
The Chicago Bears. It's great. We don't have to look very far, though, because with the Carolina Panthers, we know what it's like to have
right.
have our spot in one state and the other state thinking that it's their team, too.
Well, I mean, Charlotte is a border city,
it is.
right?
Yeah.
So, and remember, they were going to practice in Rock Hill, but that whole thing fell through.
Yeah,
all right. Willie Palaszczuk's going to join us. Willie Palaszczuk, I guess we can call him Willie. Willie P. style. On the other side, he's the voice of Charlotte FC, but Hornets, Panthers, little soccer, little hockey, because I'm sure he's paying attention. Next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen for the Get That Out of Here's.
Rejection! Cameron Boozer got a piece! Get that out of there!
The deep looks from downtown.
Arsenault pull up 3, top of the arc. Buries it!
They got postered.
Shot is up, missed, hammer time! Put back jam by Lubin.
The road to Indianapolis runs through 99.9. The Fan, driven by Fast Park and Relax, Chapel Hill Tire and Roof Works.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Breaking news. Multiply the Cash scratch-offs are here and have $1 billion in total prizes? Mike's live on the scene.
The word is out, and with so much cash up for grabs, everyone's getting in on this $1 billion. Grandma?
Out of my way, Mikey. Granny's on a roll.
You heard it here first, folks. Get in on $1 billion of wins with new Multiply the Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.01 to 4.82. Problem gambling helpline, 877-718-5543.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Are high-interest credit cards and other loans sucking the life out of your finances? It's time to say no more. Let Loan Pronto tap the equity in your home and get the cash you need now so you can pay it all off. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Cory and Jack called Loan Pronto. In a matter of days, they had $160,000. They kept their 3% mortgage intact and didn't even need an appraisal. With all that cash, they wiped out all their credit cards and 2 car loans, saving $2,000 a month. You could do it too. LoanPronto.com. Their rapid equity loan program can get you 100, 200, even 500,000 in cash. Chloe and Ethan just did it. Consolidated all their high interest debt into one super low monthly payment, giving them an extra $1,000 a month. Imagine, pay off all the credit cards, slash your monthly payments, breathe easier, get your life back. Interest rates are at a 3-year low. Call Loan Pronto, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
You've got rhythm. Your heart's got rhythm. Then one day your rhythm's off, and you've got AFib, atrial fibrillation. The good news is you've also got an AFib center, where specialists in AFib have multiple treatment options for you. Want more good news? Most of them are minimally invasive. Learn more at wakemed.org. And what do you say you and your heart get the band back together?
This is Adam Gold.
He doesn't have many years to choose from.
No, and part of that was COVID. Nobody's picking COVID.
COVID was a great year.
Yeah.
Look, if you invested in Zoom,
oh, that was a good year.
You
Yes.
had a good year during COVID.
Yep.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. We are underway in the third period. We have about 16 and a half minutes to go. Finland 2, Canada 1. And let's just say butts are tight. Will Palaszczuk, the voice of Charlotte FC, also post-game Hornets. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We could talk about tanking. First of all, let me just ask you this, sir. Thank you very much. Nice to see you up there.
Hi there.
Are you locked in at all to Olympic hockey or the Olympics in general?
I've had it on. It's I wouldn't say that
I've
I'm
had
like,
it on.
It's on. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I can break it down for you, but I've been watching it. I take in the hockey more as a spectator, not as a critiquer, so to speak. But no, I enjoy it. It's not from anything other than I enjoy the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, as Jim McKay once said.
Very nice. Good Jim McKay reference. I always want to know I used to know the name of the ski jumper who tumbled off the side of that hill.
Yes.
Can you imagine that? That's like your claim to fame your entire life for like 30 years
or something from that. No,
yeah, like every time ABC showed it, you get like $1 because that would have you probably would have been able to.
Did you watch the Munich movie at all? Because I thought that was an incredible movie.
I did not.
Oh, it was. I watched it on a transcontinental flight to Europe, and I thought it was very, very well done.
Oh, this year when you did a scouting trip to Italy?
No, the only thing I was scouting was the vineyards.
I know that. that I know. All right, let's let me start. Let me start with this tanking thing. Because I know you talk about it.
Sure.
The NBA is coming up with a list of provisions to prevent tanking. Mm-hmm. And I only think that there are 2 of their, 7 things that they had listed that will do anything to prevent tanking, and I'm not sure that they'll do it either. The changes to the type of picks you can protect, You can't get a top 4 pick in back-to-back years or after back-to-back bottom 3 finishes. No top 4 after you make it the year after you make it to a conference finals. Using two-year records as opposed to one-year records, and putting all the play-in teams. So there are 8 play-in teams, 2 of which make the playoffs, 2 don't, into the lottery. I don't think any of those 5 are either significant or fair, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on what the NBA might be doing?
Here's the thing, Adam. As long as the draft exists, and to be fair, I'm not advocating for it not to exist, but there's always going to be a mechanism that teams try to use to get a leg up,
right,
to be better in it, because the league is structured as such in that one player in a given year, the correct player, could transform a franchise. It's
Right.
more paramount in the NBA just because of roster size that if you can get one of those kind of players that transforms your franchise, and again, it doesn't mean necessarily that if you get somebody out of college that it automatically takes you to the next level, because we've seen plenty of diamonds in the rough. I mean, Giannis was a later pick as well, for a lot of people. So it's a very inexact science, but there are so many of these teams that live on the hope driven by the ping pong balls. And unfortunately, the Hornets were in that frame of mind for a very, very long time. I find it comforting that we are no longer the center of the discussion, although it does seem like people who aren't paying attention to the NBA still kind of try to throw the Hornets astray and say, well, if the draft never existed, then teams like the Hornets would fold. And it's like, do you not understand that, like, we're actually in the postseason now? So, like, it's one of those things where I think they could do everything they possibly could. I don't know how you fix it, because even if you say cut it off at a certain date, like the trade deadline, there's still no incentive for people to play these guys. Like,
Correct.
At that point, it's like their season's over. So at what point in time do we get to a point where if you want to actually curb tanking, then you need to have punitive consequences for it?
Thank you. Because that's it.
You forfeit the pick, or you forfeit a significant amount of money, or you lose a roster spot.
Yep.
Or if it comes out that you guys are not actually injured, then something punitive has to happen. If they really wanted to stop it, Adam, they could stop it, but they don't want to.
It's not that they don't want to. They're afraid to make the penalty because they're probably afraid of getting sued more than anything else.
Oh, yeah.
But they're afraid to make the penalty substantial enough. Like, it's not the same thing. We could go a long way to curbing drunk driving if we made it a felony.
Sure.
Right?
Or if we did, or if you took away people's ability to drive on the first offense.
Right. But if you actually made it a crime, which is kind of what it is, then you would go a long way towards curbing that behavior. Now it's just it's a moving violation unless something drastic happens. But it's never mind. It's not the best example in the world, but
I see what you're saying.
If we want to stop it, if we want to stop tanking, you've got to I talked about this the other day. The Utah Jazz had a lead after 3 quarters and then took all of their good players out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the NBA fined them $500,000, I believe, for the way they managed the roster during that game. Fine them $5 million for that game, right? Or if you are determined to be tanking, fine a team $10 million down the stretch.
It's the weirdest thing. I think that Adam Silver believes that things like this will just make it go away and make teams stop. It ain't going to make teams stop. It's you either allow it or you find a way to stop it. I put it. You want something that maybe is a corollary that's a little less dramatic than the one you brought up.
Yeah.
Darren Peterson at Kansas,
right?
Like how if there are probably a lot of coaches in college basketball who would have dismissed him by now for the stuff that he's pulling.
For not playing.
But Bill Self has it, in his mind that, I can have dominion over this guy. For the first time really this week, you really kind of heard him be like, I don't know what's happening. So I know it's not a corollary, but again, it's more along the lines of you're hoping that this is going to stabilize itself by just leaving it alone. And I think we've gone beyond the point of leaving it alone, because right now, and I'm sure you'll ask about the Hornets and their playoff opportunities. the reason why I'm not worried about the Hornets making the play-in is because I think there's more teams who are trying to tank than actually get in the actual dance. So at this point, the Hornets, who are actually going for it, probably have a situation where they're going to be playing some teams who might be around them in the standings who have no interest in being in the postseason.
And there's no doubt about that. But I actually think that they can still finish above the play-in, but that's just me being optimistic. Will Palaszczuk is joining us here.
I agree.
At Willie P. Style on Twitter. Quickly to the Hornets. And I know, like, LaMelo Ball is okay. The car, no, but LaMelo, fine. I have no idea what happened. He's not really talking about what happened, how this whole thing happened. That's okay as long as, well, I don't know if it's okay, but if he's healthy, they're playing. They did lose to the Rockets last night. What do you see from them going forward? Why are you optimistic that this is not only a team that can make the play-in, maybe get above it, but maybe even create some havoc when they get into the playoffs?
Well, in the micro sense, the game they lost last night to a 34-20 team, which is near the top of the Eastern Conference, if not right at the top. The fact that they only lost that game by 4 and in a game where they really got absolutely nothing out of their big three tells you how much they miss Moussa Diabate and Miles Bridges. From a rebounding standpoint, to get extra possessions from Moussa, Miles just to have an additional scorer on the floor. You really see, we talk a lot of times, and we've talked about it a lot over the last couple of years, is that anytime anybody has to move up in a role, it disrupts the equilibrium of this franchise and this team. And you're definitely seeing that, while Grant Williams had a 20-point game last night, you missed what he could bring off the bench because Tidjane Salaün, while he's been a lot better this year, not the same player.
Right.
They're missing Kobe White right now. They don't have that sixth man off the bench that's really, really strong, while Trey Mann maybe has shown a little bit of some glimpses that we saw from him in his first 2 years with the Hornets. He has not been near the same player that we're used to seeing with him. Josh Green is an adequate wing, but I'm not sitting here saying I need to depend on him to be a microwave man off the bench. So I say all that to say, in the here and now, the next 2 games, they don't have Moussa and Miles. We'll miss them a lot tonight against Cleveland. Hopefully they won't need him against Washington on Sunday. And then once those guys return, and hopefully Kobe White's injury doesn't keep him out too much longer, you're in a 26-game sprint where the analytics tell you that they can finish basically anywhere around 500 or above and make it in. Based on the other teams and who they play and who they play themselves, their competition will take a little bit of a graduated step up. They got to play Boston 3 times. They got to play the Knicks twice. Those are tough matchups for them. But they also play a lot of patsies. They play Sacramento twice. They play Indiana again. So I do think they can get enough victories. I got them pegged for somewhere in the neighborhood of 15, 16, 17 victories in the last 27 games of the regular season, which puts them solidly in and puts them in a position that, quite frankly, feels like they're ascending, which is encouraging.
I think, regardless of what happens in the playoffs this year, the fact that I think there's a ton of optimism about this team, this franchise going forward, and that's good. Will Palaszczuk is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Oh, I know we only have like 2 more minutes, so I'm going to skip the Panthers. You start for real. Charlotte FC, the season is about to commence. I know it didn't end the way that everybody wanted last year, but, work me through. I know Idan Toklamade signed a contract extension. That's good. He was amazing at the end of last year. So where is this club as we get to the start of the season?
They're going to run it back, Adam. They're going to bring back a lot of the same guys they had at the end of last year. 9 of 11 starters and 10 of 11 who've played significant minutes for them. The only newcomer to speak of is Luca De La Torre, who's a U.S. international player, and he can very well be the connector that Charlotte has been missing. They will definitely use his plaudits to connect the back line to the front line and be somebody who can be a real connector for this side. And quite frankly, Dean Smith said, look, we're tired of first-round exits. We feel like we need to do something substantial. We need to move forward in the playoffs. We need to be better in competitions, and we need to finish higher in the standings. And while a lot of teams made moves during the offseason, Dean Smith is rolling back this core and saying, you know what? I know what it takes to win in this league. We need to be more possession dominant. We need to be tough to beat defensively. But most importantly, I think it comes back to they have what they feel like is that group of people that play the system that he wants, which is something that I think you really can't put a price on in this league because so many teams have so much turnover year in and year out, and it takes too long to get going. And because Charlotte can do that from the get-go, it puts them in a better spot going into the season.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily a like-for-like comparison, but we see what happened with Liverpool turned over like 60% of their lineup, of their starters, and they got off to a very, very difficult start, still struggling to a certain extent. But the year before, when everybody else was changing around them, they changed nothing. New manager ended up winning the Premier League. What do you expect out of Wilfried Zaha?
Well, he's only signed through June, so I think this 15-game sprint, I should say, before the World Cup represents a bit of a proving ground for him. He came out of the winter playing very, very well. He represented his country in the African Cup of Nations, played about 150 minutes, so that was a nice little training spell for him. But he looks strong and stout, and he looks motivated. And I think based on his desires and him wanting to stay, I think the club wants him to stay if he continues to produce. He's somebody just from a vibe standpoint that brings a lot of strength and also brings somebody who other MLS teams fear. He's the most fouled player in the history of Major League Soccer in a single season. I don't expect that to change.
Will Palaszczuk, Willie P. style, the voice of Charlotte FC. I thank you very much. Go do whatever else it is that you have to do today, and I'll talk to you very soon.
I appreciate it. We got to get you up for a game this year. We need to.
100%. We'll do it. I'm going to go watch the rest of the Canada-Finland.
Make it happen.
Thanks, man. We got one-timers coming up. Tie game!
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. I'm all about the Winter Games. Football's over. Final Four still a couple of months away. We still don't know who's going to be in the Stanley Cup Finals. There's so many things in the distance, but the Winter Games are right now. And FanDuel makes already fun events even more fun because you can put a little action, and who knows, maybe you like Switzerland and men's curling. I don't know. It's phenomenal. It really is great theater. Everything in the Winter Games, from the sliding sports to the skiing to the skating, especially the curling. All those rocks and stones, they're so heavy and they move so beautifully. FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, play your Winter Games. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Hear interviews that go beyond the headlines with guests who know North Carolina best. Listen on the radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Practicing a championship way can happen 100% of every day, on the mat and when traveling highways. A law of sportsmanship includes taking the high road when going away and returning home. Buckle up your seatbelt in the front and back seats. Every seat, every time. Each time you click it, it counts as a winning ticket. Demonstrate your championship drive through your safety practice. A winning major decision. This message was brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program and the North Carolina High School Athletic Association.
You know the only feeling sweeter than opening a college acceptance letter? Knowing that you'll be able to pay for tuition however far you go. The first step? Completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA for short. Find out how much money for college you qualify for. Grants, scholarships, and other opportunities are waiting. How far can you go? Find out at cfnc.org/FAFSA 101.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Adam Gold.
He doesn't have many years to choose from.
No, and part of that was COVID. Nobody's picking COVID.
COVID was a great year.
Yeah.
Look, if you invested in Zoom,
oh, that was a good year.
You had a good year during COVID.
Yep.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. We are 2-2 now. I think Nick Suzuki had the goal, but the goal is not what we're going to talk about. We have under 7.5 minutes to go in the third period, and it is a brand new hockey game. Finland had a 2-0 lead, and Canada has come all the way back. Not all the way back. They've come back to tie it at 2. So Brad Marchand skates into the crease. Eric Haula knocks him over UC Saros. The initial save, there was an initial save that Saros had to make while dealing with Marchand basically in his way, and the puck goes back into play. If there was any argument to stop the play or to call goaltender interference, it would have been there. But on the goal, I think ultimately because Haula creates the contact between Marchand and Saros, I think that's probably why they let it go. And then ultimately, when the goal was scored, I kind of think Saros had time to reset and get back into the play. Good goal, 2-2. Let's play. We got 7 minutes to go. Basically, next goal wins. Think, theoretically, next goal likely to win. It has been a great game. It is now time for one-timers. It's not easy to pay attention to that.
No.
Talk hoops with Will Palaszczuk.
No, there's like too much going on.
Tons.
I don't know how they expect us to work. But first up, from Homebred on our YouTube stream.
Yes.
He wants to know, what predictions do you have for the upcoming trade deadline?
I have no predictions for I have no idea what they're thinking about. I mean, they're in. They're looking to, to improve. They're always looking to improve the roster. I've been saying this for such a long time. Finally heard somebody echo these sentiments on national radio a couple of days ago. Goaltending has not been Carolina's problem in the playoffs for years. Has not been that. Finding that goal, yeah, that's been a problem. But who is your second scoring center? As good as Carolina has been, they have not been good enough right down the spine of their forward line. And whether it's a couple of years ago or really for the last few years before last year, Jack Drury was not going to, or Jesperi Kotkaniemi, not good enough to get to a Stanley Cup final, win a Stanley Cup as your second scoring center. Not good enough. This year, whether Logan Stankoven in the future can be a good number 2 center, that isn't even the point. He's not good enough now to win a Stanley Cup. My opinion. And I think if Carolina wants to win a cup, I think you could get there with as is. But if you want to win a cup, I think Carolina must be better there. Now, the way Jordan Staal has played, he is your number 2 center. Flat out. Especially with Nick Ehlers on that line, it becomes a scoring line. But they still need to be better at that other center spot, and that's what I think that they are trying to do.
Yeah.
Next.
This one from Don. Who would be, and this is kind of a throwback to Super Bowl days, who would be your dream pair of commentators for the Super Bowl, alive or dead, regardless of whether they were on a team before?
Wow.
I know.
So I got a play-by-play guy and an analyst, right? Let's see. Play-by-play. I'm going to go Marty Glickman. I'm not even going to explain it. Some people will know who I'm talking about. Analyst John Madden.
Can't go wrong with that one.
Entertainment, and he tells you what you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Best crew going today is Buck and Aikman.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I would agree with that.
That's my those are my choices.
Yep. Exactly. And I can't believe 25 years, those two. That's crazy. Yeah. It's nuts. So, from what you've seen in the men's hockey games for the Olympics, who would be your MVP thus far for USA and Canada on each team?
Ooh, to me, the best player for Team USA has been Jack Hughes. I've loved Jack Hughes. And I'm not a Jack Hughes fan. I think he is also being misused right now by Mike Sullivan. And you say for Canada as well? I mean, McDavid's been their best player. So, but Macklin Celebrini has been awesome. But I'm going to throw one out there for the event as a whole. We're going to see him in the second semifinal. Juraj Slafkovský for Slovakia has been a beast. Watch him this afternoon.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $6.99. That's right, just $6.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
The shot, they score! Be part of the loudest house in the NHL. Win tickets to see the Carolina Hurricanes take on the Pittsburgh Penguins at Lenovo Center on Tuesday, March 10th by visiting hurricanes.com/radio and registering to win.
Think Verizon is expensive? Think again. Anyone can bring their AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. So bring us your bill. Walk in, run in, pogo stick in, teleport if you can. Ride on the back of a rollerblading yak or fly in on the wings of a majestic falcon. Any way you can, bring your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today, and we'll give you a better deal on the best network. Based on RootMetrics Best Overall Mobile Network Performance, U.S. Second Half 2025. All rights reserved. Must provide very recent postpaid consumer mobile bill in the name of the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at richielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Janneke with it. Up the boards, Carpenter. Now Edwards. Across to Keller. Back out to Edwards. Edwards with a shot. Score! The United States ties it with a goaltender pulled with 2:04 remaining. The captain, Hillary
Knight. Yeah, that was the goal that gave the United States a chance. Just over 2 minutes left, down 1-0. That was the goal that gave the U.S. the chance. Hillary Knight with the deflection goal. Layla Edwards getting to the middle of the ice, getting the puck through. Canada had blocked a ton of shots in that game. It was inspiring to watch, really. And a great, great hockey game. And we're watching one right now. It is 2-2. We are at 3:08 remaining in the third period. Canada has tied it up. Finland took a 2-0 lead. Mikko Rantanen power play goal off a face-off win by Sebastian Aho. Then Eric Haula with a shorthanded goal, our old friend. All these Hurricanes.
A lot of Hurricanes.
And fan favorites, too. You're not going to find two more popular Hurricanes than Mikko Rantanen and Eric Haula.
I know. People are wearing their jerseys today, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. And then for Canada, Sam Reinhart deflection goal on the power play, and then Nick Suzuki has scored, and it is 2-2. If you are so inclined, I don't know what the number is now, but about 3 minutes ago, Sebastian Aho to score in overtime was plus 3,300, just in case anybody is so inclined, because that would be fun. Wow, not sure how that stayed out of the net, but I'm trying to do everything I can to keep it on the rails here, and I believe Canada is going to the power play again, which probably spells doom for Finland. I don't know if they've run out of gas. I don't think that's the case. I think we are seeing a Canada team that has found their game. And I don't care how good Finland is. If Canada finds their game, it ain't happening.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
Is not happening. So anyway, all right, let's. We should run it back. You heard the game-tying goal for the United States. Megan Keller, defenseman, won it in overtime with just a gorgeous goal that beats the who they play again yesterday. They played the Canada. Oof, sorry. Who beat Canada's goaltender, who was brilliant, right 5-hole. But it reminded me of a Nick Valine goal in the playoffs against the New Jersey Devils back in 2009. All right, I wanted to talk, and I mentioned this with Will Palaszczuk about tanking. The NBA, and we're going to talk about this later on in the roundtable. So the NBA is They have a tanking problem. It is clear that there are teams in the league that are actively trying to not win. And to an extent, I know this sounds like almost obvious, but actively trying to lose games. The best example of this is the Utah Jazz, who played their best players in a game, I don't even remember who they played a couple of weeks ago, and then didn't play them at all in the third period. Not at all. And they were fined $500,000 by the NBA. Adam Silver's like, that's gross. And here's the reason why tanking is bad. Not because it works, because it doesn't work. Tanking for draft picks, for draft position, has not worked anywhere. Remember the old Philadelphia 76ers trust the process, where they were trying to lose to get better, and they compiled draft pick after draft pick after draft pick. They didn't win anything. The best of those picks was one of the earlier ones when they got Joel Embiid. It just doesn't work. But the real reason you can't tank is because the games have to be competed on a legitimate basis. We have to know. Canada has gone ahead with 35 seconds to go. Power play goal. I think it's Nathan McKinnon, left side, just below the face-off circle. There goes my Sebastian Aho wager. Although they could tie it and then go to overtime. But again, it was inevitable. It was Nathan McKinnon, one-timer, just below the left face-off dot, and there you go. Canada 3, Finland 2.
You said out of all the Macs, he was at the bottom, so now he heard it and was like,
yes,
okay, well.
He has gone ahead
I'll turn
of
things
all
around.
of the other guys named Mac. Just short side goal. Saros is going to want that one back. I mean, one-timer, but Saros was there. He just didn't have the post covered. We're going to talk about this with Cory Lavalette in a little bit. We actually thought the game would be on. Yeesh. Good thing Frederick Anderson didn't allow that goal. Canes fans would have kittens.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Kittens. Hasn't been a great year for UC Saros, I don't believe. Anyway, just to get back to the whole tanking thing. The reason why tanking is bad is because we have to believe that the teams are trying to win. If one team isn't trying to win, that's no good for the league. And it doesn't even mean, like, load management and tanking to me are different things. Teams use load management so their best players are available when the games matter the most. Tanking is different. Tanking's the opposite of that. So they put out a list of 7 different items that they are thinking about enacting that they believe will curb tanking. I'll give you the 2 good ones. Because of these 7, I think only 2 might be effective. And let me reiterate, tanking doesn't really matter anyway. We are apparently reviewing something to see if they were on side.
I see.
We'll see. I have no idea. I can't focus on it. Otherwise, I'll just stare at the screen and I won't talk. All right, so here are the 2 elements that I believe are actually good. 1, the lottery odds. Whatever your odds in the lottery, freeze at the trade deadline. Trade deadline was passed. Right? Hockey trade deadline is coming up. But the NBA trade deadline is passed. I would argue that they should make that trade deadline closer to, or not have a trade deadline, but have a lottery deadline earlier in the season. Okay? But that the last 20 some odd games, 25 games of the season don't impact the lottery standings. I think that would be an effective one. But I would do it in conjunction with this next one. And I would just flatten the odds. So, and this used to be the case until we went to a weighted ping pong ball, essentially, where everybody in the lottery had the exact same chance of winning. Everybody. So if you finished with the best record of the teams not in the playoffs, you had the same chance of getting the first pick as the team that finished. By the way, they allowed the goal. As the team that finished with the worst record. That is what they should do. This way, you now have no incentive. There's no incentive to finish last as opposed to. I'm trying to do the math here. 30 teams in the NBA. 12 in the 16 in the playoffs. When it's all said and done, what's that math? 17th. There's no incentive. You're better off trying to make the playoffs or playing, whatever. Those are the two good ones. I have reasons why the following are not good. So they're going to change, or not good or irrelevant. They want to change where you can protect a draft pick. You can now protect only a top 4 or the entire lottery. I don't think that matters. I really don't think it matters. No top 4 picks in back-to-back years, or if you can't win the lottery, I guess, if you are bottom 3 in the NBA in back-to-back years. What about the teams that do that organically? Of course, all we're trying to stop is tanking, right? What if you organically do that?
Right. Exactly.
I mean,
what's wrong with that?
I don't understand. No top 4 pick a year after in the conference finals. Again, what if that happens organically? We're trying to stop tanking. And those two things can be, not always, but can be incredibly different. Using 2-year records as opposed to the current year for your odds in the lottery. I don't know. I don't think that's the records are generally fairly close. Still think you're not going to stop tanking using that and putting the play-in teams in the lottery, which I actually dig for one reason, but I don't think it'll stop tanking. If you're in the play-in, doesn't mean you're in the playoffs because they don't count that as the playoffs. And if you don't make the playoffs, okay. But at least if you do make the playoffs, just by being in that little apron of the league, to use an NBA term, sure, you get the same chances. If you finish 10th, you finish 10th. If you happen to win 2 games and you get into the playoffs, maybe it shouldn't take you out of the lottery. Maybe, and this is the way I said it the other day, was why don't we just invert the standings of the teams that miss the playoffs? So the best team that misses the playoffs gets the first, has the best chance of getting the first pick. But again, that would just move a tanking scenario. It would not stop it. Ultimately, what we said before, you want to stop it? You make the penalty for tanking egregious. You lose the pick, $10 million fine, whatever. That's what you do. I believe we are done. I believe there's zeros on the clock, Canada, with a 3-2 lead over Finland. All right. I feel for the Finns played a great game. Canada is a wagon. Incredible. All right. Well, let's.
There was our guy Aho. He tried.
He did.
At the very end, he tried.
I thought Sebastian played a really, really good game.
Yep.
Today. All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Cory Lavalette, North State Journal, and the Athletics is going to join us on the other side.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
As the Olympics get underway, the best news for the Carolina Hurricanes is the absolutely awesome contract that they have for Seth Jarvis. He's now a part of Team Canada, and sometimes at these events, guys leave as hockey players and they come back as superstars. And you hope that happens for Seth Jarvis because you have him under team control for years in the future.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Friday nights just got a little bit better with FanDuel. You know why? Because we have happy hour and a half on FanDuel. Greatest sports app ever. So great that a happy hour became a happy 90 minutes. From 6 to 7:30 every Friday, you have options of boosts and all sorts of things that you could do to enhance your fun with the NBA, but only between 6 and 7:30 p.m. Eastern for that 90-minute time on FanDuel. It's the FanDuel Happy Hour and a half. FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and maximum wager amounts. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. When the weather warms up, you're going to see a lot of motorcycles out there on the road, including myself. And if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you get in touch with the insurance company. Law Tigers understands what your bike and your gear are worth, and they understand what it's like to go through an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $12 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Are high-interest credit cards and other loans sucking the life out of your finances? It's time to say no more. Let Loan Pronto tap the equity in your home and get the cash you need now so you can pay it all off. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Corey and Jack called Loan Pronto. In a matter of days, they had $160,000. They kept their 3% mortgage intact and didn't even need an appraisal. With all that cash, they wiped out all their credit cards and 2 car loans, saving $2,000 a month. You could do it too. LoanPronto.com. Their rapid equity loan program can get you $100,000, $200,000, even $500,000 in cash. Chloe and Ethan just did it, consolidated all their high interest debt into one super low monthly payment, giving them an extra $1,000 a month. Imagine, pay off all the credit cards, slash your monthly payments, breathe easier, get your life back. Interest rates are at a 3-year low. Call Loan Pronto, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Okay, get this. Now at Wendy's, you get to go biggie with new Biggie deals. That means going biggie with the $4 Biggie Bites, biggier with the $6 Biggie Bag, or biggiest with an $8 Biggie Bundle. So now you can choose and customize your Biggie deal. As you should. Sorry, I get fired up when I'm talking deals. More Biggie options so you can get more of what you really want at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
I have his jersey.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you have any other jerseys or just a Jake Delhomme?
I got so many.
Do you really?
I go all the way back from Tim Biakabatuka.
Wow.
Yes. Cam, Luke, obviously, Smitty. So, yeah, I've got multiple. 6 or 7, maybe?
6, 7?
6, 7? 6, 7?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Victoria producing the program. Must not have been a lot of whistles in Canada, Finland.
Yeah.
Because when I was talking to my friend Cory Lavalette from the Athletic and North State Journal earlier today, I kind of assumed we would just be on the other side of the 10-minute mark of the third period, and we had decided, all right, that's fine. We'll just watch the game together talking on the radio. Well, the game is over. Cory Lavalette still joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Big picture before we get into the minutia of what we just watched in Canada's 3-2 win over Finland. Just going back to the quarterfinals. I mean, I don't want to be hyperbolic about it, but I mean, this is about as good as hockey can get outside of the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I thought you were going to come in with some Gordon Lightfoot music or something.
If you could read my mind, love.
I think I tweeted it out. I thought maybe that was one of the best days of hockey that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just, the opening game was pretty, the Slovakia-Germany game was pretty melodramatic, but the other three were just amazing. And then yesterday's game, women's game was amazing. This game was amazing. We'll see what we have on tap for the last two hockey games. Well, I guess there's three. We have the bronze medal game, but the next two big games, we'll see how that goes.
I mean, today, this game, Canada 3, Finland 2, snapped a 5-game run of overtimes because the last three quarterfinal matches all went to overtime. Both the women's gold and bronze medal matches went to overtime, and this one we were 30-some-odd seconds away from OT here. That ruined my Sebastian Aho overtime goal wager, but that's fine. Cory Lavalette, North State Journal and The Athletic, is joining us here. We'll talk specifically about Hurricanes players in a minute, but I want to ask you about two situations in the game. Should Finland have challenged for goaltender interference on the second goal, the game-tying goal in the third period, when Brad Marchand went into the crease, makes contact with UC Saros? I thought Eric Haula kind of shoved him in there, but should they have challenged for that?
It's tough, right? Because you're up 2-0. This happened to Rod Brindamore this year, right? Against Florida. They decided not to challenge because, you don't want to risk losing it and putting, as we just saw, Canada's power play out there. If you don't get it right, you're still up a goal. But it's tough. I mean, we can hindsight it all day long. I probably would have leaned to the way they went, which is, all right, they scored. This is iffy. It's definitely not cut and dried. Let's move on and finish this game out. But obviously that didn't work out in the end for them. So I guess we could say, yes, they should have.
Right. Yeah. In hindsight, yes. The way I read the play was Marchand goes into the crease on his own, at which they have the right, if they want, to blow the play dead when a player goes into the crease. I believe that's the international rule, and we're playing kind of a hybrid, I guess, between international and NHL rules. But they have the right to blow the play dead when a player gets in the crease. They didn't. That's fine. I wouldn't have in that situation. Haula, in my opinion, definitely helps Marchand into Saros. To me, the real interference is on the initial shot that ultimately goes back into play. Like, that to me is the problem, because Marchand is basically at that point interfering with Saros, and the only determination is, did he do that on his own or did he do that thanks to Haula? And I guess that's the gray area there. But everything after that, for me, Saros had enough time to get back, reset, and deal with the shot that ultimately beat him by Suzuki, and he didn't. So, to me, the goaltender interference would be early on. Real quick about Saros. Should he have had the third goal?
I mean, that was pretty relentless. I mean, we could say, oh, you got to seal the post there, but he is going back and forth. I mean, we don't talk about goalies getting tired very often, but imagine how exhausting that whole power play was for him. I mean, he's
true.
They are whipping the puck around. What can you do against a power play that's got, maybe 5 Hall of Famers on it?
Yeah, I'm with you.
That was, their power play is insane. So I don't think I would blame the goalie. He was the better of the two goalies, I thought, the whole game. I'm still wondering about Bennington, to be honest with you. He had the one good save on Aho there late in the game, but still shaky, in my opinion.
Yeah, Canada, by the way, had 17 shots in the third period, 31 shots over the last two periods, which I think is 3 games worth of shots on Brandon Bussey. So we'll see, by the way. It's hard to find ice time until after the fact, so I'll be curious to see how much Seth Jarvis played today. I definitely saw him. He played. I don't know, honestly, how much. What did you think of Sebastian Aho? And I know we still have a bronze medal game to deal with. What did you think of Sebastian Aho in this tournament so far?
I think it was a bit of a slow start.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he came out in the first game of the whole tournament and looked like the best player on the ice for the first, 10 minutes of the game against Slovakia, and then he kind of disappeared. But I think he's been really good. At times I think he was Finland's best player. Rantanen's obviously an amazing player. Heiskanen's an amazing player, but I thought really, pretty impactful all around the ice. And it's tough playing. They were often against that McDavid, McKinnon, Celebrini line, which is just insane. But they were matching up with them, and they matched up well against them at 5-on-5. They obviously had their chances. I didn't even, to be honest, love that line for Canada, just because it felt like nobody knew who to, which guy should be taken over a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I definitely feel you. I watched the third period of the quarterfinal game in full when they were trailing by 2. Mm-hmm. And I thought that Sebastian Aho is like, that's the Sebastian Aho that we want to see when we hit the middle of April, because he was one of those on fire. Like he just looked like he did. Remember the third period was a third period against Florida? I don't even remember. But he just absolutely shot out of a cannon, hitting everything. Uh-huh. He was awesome in the third period in the quarterfinal game, and I thought he was great. I really did. I thought he was great today. I thought he was feisty today. He and Marchand looked like they were having some discussions. I thought that's the Sebastian Aho we want to see. Jacob Slavin, we'll see him a little bit later on today. Are you like me, wondering why Mike Sullivan didn't have him and Brock Faber on the ice late against Sweden?
That's what I tweeted that out as soon as it happened. I was like, how are they not out there? And what's funny is, in that first game, they gave up a goal really early.
Right.
And I was just like, oh man, I'm surprised. And then they haven't given up a goal since.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely insane. And you got to get by Slovakia today, obviously. But if Canada's next for them, then, he's going to get that assignment that we just saw, that, McDavid, McKinnon, Celebrini probably. And I'll be really curious to see how that goes, because, man, he's looked so good again. I mean, it's a little silly to me that people forget how good he is. We're a year removed from everybody talking about him. Right. And, I think he was the best player in the entire Four Nations tournament. I know there are people who agree, like Jeff Merrick believes the same thing.
Yeah.
And I thought he was the best player in that entire tournament. I don't know if that's necessarily true for the Olympic tournament, because I think McDavid's been unreal. But man, is he something else? God.
Yeah, and again, it wasn't like they were just on the ice and they had to come off, because there was about a minute separation from his last shift to the time that Quinn Hughes and Jake Sanderson jumped on the ice. And I'm just thinking, we know Sweden's going to pull the goaltender. So why do we have two great skaters, by the way? And two incredible players in Hughes and Sanderson. But why aren't we putting the shutdown pair on the ice at this point as Sweden pulls the goalie? I guess you're not going to kill the last minute or last 100 seconds, because basically that's kind of what there was left in the game. So there was still an opportunity to use Slavin, but I would have gotten as far along as I could have in that while using my shutdown pair. But I don't know, Mike Sullivan's got how many Stanley Cup rings? I guess that's more than I do.
Yeah.
So
sure. I agree with you. I think, we've seen plenty of times where Slavin's played the last 2 minutes of the game straight through and done that job. I mean, obviously there's tons of talent to put out there. But on offense in 3-on-3, Quinn Hughes stayed out there for 2 minutes.
He did.
If you're going to say, hey, our best offensive defenseman stay out there for 2 minutes and do your thing. I kind of think maybe you do the same with your best defensive defenseman in a must shutdown situation.
Yeah, ultimately they're fortunate that the U.S. is still playing, but anybody who goes to overtime in this format is fortunate that you're still playing. Cory Lavalette, North State Journal, and The Athletic. Let me ask you just some Hurricanes-specific questions here. What was your take on the Brandon Bussey contract?
Yeah, great deal for the Hurricanes, I think. I think they were smart that they engaged him early. They didn't get out of October before, they started talks about, hey, we want to keep you around. And obviously that discussion changes and they couldn't do anything until January anyway. So as he's piling up wins, I'm sure Eric Tulsky's holding his breath and saying, well, thank God we're piling up wins, but at the same time, I don't know, maybe you lose one or two every once in a while.
Yeah.
But a great deal, and I think the fact that they engaged so early, that a framework I think had been discussed pretty early on,
right,
that with him playing the way he has and having the success he has, they were still working off of that framework, and that helped them keep this. I mean, he's getting paid, less against the captain. Kachekov will be paid next year. That's, they could essentially go into next year at $3.9 million against the cap for their two top goalies. That's crazy.
What is your read on his play through 27 starts?
Yeah, I mean, Jesse Granger at The Athletic had a great story talking about the technical things he does that make him different and makes him successful. And I would encourage everyone to read it because it's really, really well done about how when he moves side to side, he's not just going side to side, he's moving out to attack, to cut off the angle, to get to that puck quicker. Just little things he does that it's amazing that he had success all throughout his AHL career, but he's an undrafted guy. We've seen, obviously Stephen Lawrence hasn't had the success of a Brandon Bussey, but you see that these guys that have, get overlooked a little bit, have success at every level, they tend to get to the NHL, and it's not a big deal to them. They've kind of climbed the ladder slowly in their own way, and just really impressed with him. There's obviously another step coming that he's going to have to, figure out. There's going to be, especially if they get into a tough series against a physical team, there's going to be bumping and, mind games and all those things, and we'll see how he handles it.
Cory Lavalette, North State Journal, and The Athletic is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. That's the thing, the speed of the game when we get to the playoffs. Even round one, doesn't matter. We don't have to get all the way to the conference finals. Round one, when the physicality ramps up, we all remember how many years ago it was. Antti Raanta plays great in game one against Boston, and then David Palaszczuk takes a shot at him early in game two. That's what brought us the Pyotr Kochetkov experience. Was the fact that Palaszczuk basically tried to take out and was successful in taking Antti Raanta out of the game. So Brandon Bussey's going to have to deal with that kind of stuff when we get to the playoffs, no matter who it is. And who knows? Could end up being Florida in the first round of the playoffs. So let me ask you about that real quick, because we haven't thought about. I don't know if you've thought about it. I have a little bit. Right now, could be Buffalo, could be Boston. Heck, could be Montreal, who we're going to watch Juraj Slafkovsky in the second semifinal. For my money, he's been the best player in the tournament, maybe not named Connor McDavid. I mean, it could be Florida if they can sneak into the back end of the playoffs. Of course, I think it's a longer shot for them now, the way that they seem to be almost too far out. But what's your read on who we might see in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, that wild card race is kind of weird. Florida, I mean, they're going to need help and they're going to have to get really hot. And I hate to doubt them because of what they've done the last 2 years, but there's a lot of tread worn off those tires from what's gone on the last 2 years. So I have a hard time thinking they're going to be able to claw their way back into this, but we saw what happened last year. I mean, Montreal basically got in by default at the back end of the playoff race just because everybody kind of fell apart. You know, Columbus made a push and then they couldn't get it done. And
yeah,
I don't know, for whatever reason, it feels like Buffalo to me might be the team that they end up playing. And I think it would be a really fun series. I really have enjoyed watching them kind of turn things around. And, you know, their defense, I think, is really underrated. You know, I think Dahlin's one of the top 5 best defensemen in the league, but they've got other guys too that Owen Power maybe hasn't lived up to being a first overall pick, but Matthias Samuelsson, the son of former Rod Brind'Amour teammate Kjell Samuelsson, has had a great year. He's been hurt his whole career. I mean, every year he gets hurt, and he got banged up a little bit this year, but he's been mostly healthy, and he's gone from being, you know, a shutdown physical guy to now he's, you know, adding a little offense. He's healthy. So Buffalo's really intriguing, but, you know, they're going to need Josh Norris to stay healthy, and that's something that's been tough. You know, if you don't have your number 2 center, things get difficult.
Speaking of which, we'll close on this. I've been talking about it for a while. You and I have not necessarily specifically got into it, but do you think Carolina needs to get another center to put them over the top?
I don't know that they have to get another a second line center. I think they're very happy with. I mean, we probably haven't talked about it enough. They're very happy with what Logan Stankoven has done this year.
Right.
His faceoffs have improved. He doesn't get a ton of ice time, so, you know, people are pining for Vincent Trocheck, but if you look at their numbers, they're really not that all different, and one guy played with Artemi Panarin all year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to actually write about this a little bit this week for next week for The Athletic about some of the targets. To me, the bigger thing is if you can get an upgrade, whether it's up the lineup or down the lineup, I think you probably want to see somebody better in that 4C role. Jankowski obviously has gotten hot a little bit again, scoring, but I think there's an upgrade to be had there. So I think that's something I would look at. The defense situation, I think, is interesting because I don't think they have a first pairing guy to play with Slavin right now, but I think they have the guy to play with him long term.
They do too.
So in Nikishin.
Yep.
So I think, you know, if like, you know, when Quinn Hughes was on the market, obviously you make a run at him for sure. I don't know if there's anybody that really you want to push your chips in on that's available right now, but this front office does wild things. So
they do. I would upgrade. Look, whether Stankoven is a good center long-term doesn't even matter to me. My opinion, they need an improvement there in order to win a Stanley Cup now. And whether that's a Coyle or an O'Reilly, a Braden Shen, something like that, I would certainly explore that.
See, I don't know that any of those 3 guys are better than him. Now, if you wanted to make an argument that Robert Thomas is,
Robert Thomas is, yes, that would be a different path. Yeah, that would be a different animal.
But like, I don't know that any of the guys you mentioned, like Ryan O'Reilly has had a great career. To be honest with you, if you really want to upgrade your fourth line and you can get him, you know, and then you can move him around if you need to in key situations, I don't think he can keep up as a second line center in the playoffs anymore, you know, playing 19 minutes a night.
Right, but playing Logan Stankoven minutes he could.
Well,
that's 13 and a half.
He could. But then you're not really talking about, hey, we've added a second line center that boosts our offense. You're basically talking about, okay, we've added a guy and Jordan Stahl still plays the second most minutes.
Yeah, well, we're really talking about adding a 3C now anyway, because Jordan Stahl with Jordan Martinook and Nick Ehlers has become the second line.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I guess the question, to me, if you can get a Robert Thomas, who I think is going to cost just so much to try to get, and everybody's going to ask about Nikishin, and they're not going to do it. But I think if you could get him, then yes. But I just look and Charlie Coyle, I think, he's having a good year.
Great year.
But I mean, I think about guys like Riley Nash. Riley Nash had a great year one year in Boston, and then Columbus signed him to a huge deal, and he was Riley Nash again.
Well, you don't have to sign Charlie Coyle to a big deal. You can just rent Charlie Coyle.
There's also no guarantee he continues to put up points like he has. So to me, that those are tough ones. There's guys like Stamkos out there. Do you want to take on those extra years? Probably not. I know you probably think more in the short term, and I think the front office probably thinks more in the long term, and that's what we're going to be seeing here. But they've done wacky stuff before. The Gensel thing was a gamble. The Kuznetsov thing. I mean, what a gamble that was.
That was crazy.
And obviously the Rantanen thing didn't work out, but they certainly don't mind trying things.
No doubt about it. Cory Lavalette, at Cory Lav on Twitter. Appreciate your time. We'll be looking for that piece in The Athletic, and we'll go read about Brandon Bussey in The Athletic as well. Thank you very much, my friend.
Sure. Enjoy the USA-Slovakia game.
Yeah.
Based on everything we know, it's going to be close because that's all we've been dealing with.
Yeah, that's the best part about this event. I appreciate your time, man. Take care.
Anytime, buddy.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll see Cory on Thursday, 6 days from now.
I know. I told him it's been forever since we've seen him up in the bird's nest, as I like to call.
Yeah.
Because it's been 3 weeks is like 3 months.
Gosh, don't even know what to do. I have slept more.
Yeah.
Like, no joke.
Yeah.
I have slept more. I don't believe I've been awake after midnight, 12:30, since the season shut. Seriously. Like, since the season closed, the first part of this year, I don't believe I have been awake after 12:30.
Too bad you can't put it in like a tank. Just reserve it for when it picks back up.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the possibility of that. All right, let me get to one quick thing before we take a break. Because this came up in a conversation, I guess, with Will Palaszczuk earlier, because he referenced Darren Peterson of Kansas. And I didn't want to really dive into that part of it because it wasn't really what I wanted to get into with Will. But he brought up the fact that Kansas's best player, for many people, the first overall pick in this upcoming NBA draft, who's a legit NBA difference-making point guard, but has had a ton of issues being available this year. And there have been a lot of people who have said, well, it's intentional. He's trying to save himself for the draft. But without knowing exactly what's going on, it's kind of hard to make that determination. So let's just leave that element of the equation out. Availability, regardless of the reason, is a problem if you are unavailable. I think a pretty good recent example of that is Zion Williamson. So nobody doubted whether or not Zion, if available, should have been the first pick in that draft. Nobody. There isn't a single person who would have taken anybody other than Zion Williamson where New Orleans took him with the first overall pick. As it turns out, his unavailability has been the number one problem for him. And to be perfectly honest, when healthy, he's been very good. I don't know if when healthy, he has been as good as anybody thought he'd be. With all of that said, it's hard to know what guys are going to be. Nobody knew Giannis Antetokounmpo was going to be this, otherwise he wouldn't have been picked 17th. Nobody knew Nikola Jokic was going to be this, otherwise he wouldn't have been picked in the second round. Same thing with a guy like Draymond Green, who's probably going to the Hall of Fame from the Golden State Warriors, who was picked in the second round. We have no idea. Heck, if we knew that Con Knippel would be this good, he might have been picked higher than fourth. Fourth's pretty high. But we didn't. The notion that people are going to not draft Darren Peterson because, for whatever reason, he has not been available enough to Kansas is fantasy. It's every person you see on Twitter who says, how can you take this guy number one? Do you watch him play? Because when you watch him play, you go, yeah, okay, I get it. There's a lot of things that ultimately change when it becomes your profession. Sometimes it doesn't. Is it a red flag I think I heard somebody call it a yellow flag, not a red flag. Yeah, it is something to consider. But you know who wasn't available as a freshman in college? Kyrie Irving. He was hurt, missed basically the whole season. We saw a glimpse of him in the NCAA tournament. Not the same thing, Kyrie and Darren Peterson, but he wasn't available. And there wasn't a single team that was that concerned. Not one. And I'm not saying that Darren Peterson is going to be Kyrie Irving. The basketball version of Kyrie Irving. All I'm saying is, when you watch talent, that's what NBA teams draft on. They don't draft on anything other than, what can this guy be? Maybe that's to their detriment, to be honest. So, all the hot takes, hey, how do you take him? Like, there isn't a single team, especially one that needs a point guard, that would not take him first overall and say, yeah, we can take care of that. We'll deal with that. He's that good. Now, to be fair, A.J. DeBanza might be the best player anyway. Or, could Caleb Wilson be the best player? I think there's an argument to be made that Caleb Wilson could be the best player. I don't think he'll go number one, but that's an argument. All right, we'll come back. We will stretch. We will place bets. I've already lost one. Next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
As the health director in Haywood County and a nurse here in North Carolina, I can tell you that the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline saves lives.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available.
988 Lifeline counselors are ready 24/7 to speak with you, help you cope, and get you connected to the support that is right for you.
988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Practicing the championship way can happen 100% of every day, on the track and when traveling highways. A law of sportsmanship includes taking the high road when going away and returning home. Buckle up your seatbelt in the front and back seats. Every seat, every time. Every time you click it, it counts as a winning ticket. Demonstrate your championship drive through your safety practice and stay on the winning track. This message was brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program and the North Carolina High School Athletic Association.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Hear interviews that go beyond the headlines with guests who know North Carolina best. Listen on the radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
You know the only feeling sweeter than opening a college acceptance letter? Knowing that you'll be able to pay for tuition however far you go. The first step? Completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA for short. Find out how much money for college you qualify for. Grants, scholarships, and other opportunities are waiting. How far can you go? Find out at cfnc.org/FAFSA 101.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Gold. Gold.
I have his jersey.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you have any other jerseys or just the Jake Delhomme?
I got so many.
Do you really?
I go all the way back from Tim Biakabatuka.
Wow.
Yes. Cam, Luke, obviously, Smitty. So, yeah, I've got multiple. 6 or 7, maybe?
6, 7?
6, 7?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold, Victoria producing the program. Looking forward to the Roundtable next hour. We'll talk about a lot of different things, as we always do. A little bit of tanking, a little bit of hoops. We got a big weekend for Duke as they take on Michigan in Washington, D.C., number 1 team in the country, and that's not Duke. Carolina's at Syracuse. NC State's just kind of watching, enjoying the closing ceremonies, maybe taking in the gold medal game between hopefully the United States and Canada coming up on Sunday morning. Before we get to stretching, how about this ice time? Last 2 periods of the game, Canada had Nathan McKinnon on the ice for 16 and a half minutes. Last 2 periods, 16 and a half minutes. That's more than Sebastian Aho played the entire game. Connor McDavid played 18 and a half minutes the last 2 periods. Last 2 periods. Led Finland in ice time. And Macklin Celebrini played 18 minutes. That was a line. They were on the ice forever. I do wonder if Finland's coach recognized that it was a semifinal in the Olympics.
Exactly.
Top line, all played under 17 minutes. That includes Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, if U.S. can get a W today, then Canada wore themselves out.
Maybe. Seth Jarvis played 1:42 of the third. That's all it was. I wanted to see that. All right, let's stretch.
Okay, so I know I talked about Reese's yesterday, where basically the grandson of the creator of Reese's, they've changed the ingredients, the recipe. Terrible idea. We shouldn't change Reese's. What are we doing? But Burger King's president is trying to one-up.
Oh, is he?
I think Reese's needs to do this / the new Hershey company, because Burger King, the president of Burger King, his name is Tom Curtis, and he has decided that he really wants the feedback from people who love BK and having it their way. And so he has given out his personal number.
Wow.
Now, I know. Let me tell you, I don't believe that this is his only phone. So he says that it's his personal cell number. It's probably one of many cells that he has, but he's giving it out to anyone because he wants the real experience and feedback from the customers that go there. Good, bad, in between, all the things, I guess. Tom said guests are our most important advisors, and it's nothing like getting the feedback firsthand. So he's excited for this greater opportunity to have live, open, and honest conversations. He might be excited now. Just give it like a day. And if you want to call or text him, his number is 305
What?
874-0500. 866-753-20. It's out here for everyone. It's not 867-5309. So don't do that one. But
we need more of the hats.
Yeah, exactly.
We all
exactly
had those, right?
So, oh yeah, and the Burger King crowns. Oh man.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be feeling
Adjustable.
this, but yeah, if you have a bad experience, I guess call Tom. Don't call Tom though to place your bets.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Here. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal in Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me.
I owe you one.
All right, so I'm already 0-1 today. I'll tell you what I did. I did it late in the third period, figuring that Finland would drag the game to overtime. I had Sebastian Aho plus 3,300 to be the overtime goal scorer. We didn't get to overtime, so a donation was made. So there you go. I'm already 0-1. You go first.
Well, this
or
weekend.
Second.
This weekend, we have UFC Houston. So Punch and Fight is back, organized violence, and I cannot wait. And the headliner, well, the main event, I should say, Sean Strickland is back, and he is taking on Anthony Hernandez, who is on some kind of streak. However, I'm going with Sean. He's an underdog, so give me Strickland for the win, plus 220.
Strickland for the win, plus 220. All right, we've got semifinal number 2, right? We've got the United States and Slovakia. Are we destined to get USA-Canada? Or is Slovakia going to throw a little bit of a wrench into it?
Ooh, hope not.
Slovakia plus 550.
Whoa.
On the money line.
Are you reverse psychologying it?
Overtime. And a Dalibor Dvorsky goal would be plus 44.17. I know that's silly, but that's what it would be if you were inclined. Also, the North London Derby is Sunday. We will not be watching it because of hockey. Tottenham Arsenal draw is plus 310. Will Tottenham get a new manager bounce? We'll see.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoots, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's a Friday, y'all, so it's time to start planning the weekend. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here for Blue Shark Vodka, which produces the smoothest and cleanest vodka made right here in North Carolina. And whether your weekend is full of plans or just relaxing at home, Blue Shark Vodka will put a little extra pep in any day. It's made from 100% non-GMO sweet Carolina corn. It's naturally gluten-free, and it's the shark without the bite. Not to mention, you're also getting the most creative vodka bottle out there that'll pizzazz up any shelf. So go check them out at your local ABC store and visit them for recipes at BlueSharkVodka.com.
Think only current and former smokers get lung disease? Well, before you breathe a sigh of relief, WakeMed would like to remind you that even if you've never smoked in your life, secondhand smoke or environmental toxins can put you at risk. So go to wakemed.org and take our free online lung health assessment. It takes just a few minutes, and who knows? It could keep lung disease from taking your life.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or price stopped, opt out.
Hey man, how did the date go?
I had to cancel. I don't get paid until Friday.
You didn't know that you can get up to a $750 paycheck advance with the current app?
Where was that information yesterday?
Just text them, see if you qualify. $750? Boom! And right now, they're offering a $75 bonus when you set up an eligible direct deposit.
Think I should call her back?
Yeah.
Need money before payday? Current has you covered. Set up an eligible direct deposit to see if you qualify for a paycheck advance of up to $750. Hurry and receive an extra $75 sign-up bonus right now. Text ACTION to 323232. That's ACTION to 323232. ACTION to 323232.
Paycheck advance is offered by FineCo Advance LLC, a financial technology company, not an FDIC-insured bank. Eligibility and available amounts may vary and are subject to change at any time. For full terms and conditions, visit current.com/radio or call 1-888-851-3177 for more information.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free. at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The future depends on teachers who are reinventing the classroom and starting their students on journeys that will change the course of history. Shape the future. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly with nationwide 5G because Cricket is on the AT&T network. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I think the boring, easy answer, but true one is from day one. Like when I stepped into the locker room, like all the boys accepted me in. There was, I'm not going to say any judgment, but I was part of the family from the very beginning. So when I got my first game and started playing and stuff, and even during that stretch of time where I wasn't playing games, there was full confidence in me and an expectation when I stepped in the net that I was going to perform for us. So there's not really one point necessarily. It's just been the whole beginning.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria is producing the program, and that was Brandon Bussey from
Bussey.
2 days ago.
I love In Bussey We Trusty. They have got to make T-shirts because I would wear it.
Yeah, I think they have to. They don't have T-shirts?
Well, I mean, I'm sure they do, but it's got to
T-shirts for
say
everything.
In Bussey We Trust. See, I need to make a Victoria collection of T-shirts because it would have In Bussey We Trusty. It would have Panthers Be Pantherin'. I mean, it would have a little bit of everything.
What's stopping you?
Money. But I'm going to, you know what? I've got a Cricut that I've never used before that I need to figure out how to use. And then
a Cricut?
My empire will be, the people use that to like make stickers. I think you can make T-shirts. I've gotten one, but apparently it's not super easy to use. So if people know how to do it on YouTube,
I don't even know what that is.
At me on Twitter.
I thought a Cricut is like...
like the game. Or the bug.
Yeah, like a bug or a lighter.
How many different kinds of crickets can we have?
Or a wireless company?
That too.
Really not sure. Not sure what it is at all. But yeah, you can just make T-shirts and like you can go to Cafe Press. You can basically create your own T-shirt. They'll
I know.
do it for you.
Got to spend money to make money.
Yeah. Start small.
Exactly.
Catch on, word of mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Word of shirt.
We talked to a few people.
Yeah, should do that. But I kind of think that there
probably is
bus-related
I also don't want to get
T-shirts
sued
already at the eye.
in case they're already there.
I've thought about treading that line with like the Canes Corner podcast with some stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know like who I'd have to whose palm I'd have to grease.
Exactly.
Down on Edwards Mill. Anyway, we can talk about T-shirts all day long, and I think you should get a In Bussey We Trusty T-shirt.
I know.
Even if you just make it for yourself.
Right.
Why not?
One of one.
You could do it. You could do it, and then somebody would say, where'd you get that? Like,
right.
I made it.
My house. Mm-hmm.
Could you make me one? Sure.
Yeah.
$200.
Exactly.
I've just started your business.
Right. Yeah.
What's the problem?
A GoFundMe or Kickstart. That's what it is.
Something like that.
Kickstarter.
All right, that's good. All right, roundtable coming up in just a little over 10 minutes. We will have Chris Lee from WRAL TV5 on the show twice in a week.
I know. Well, he's fancy. He's got an Emmy now.
He does. But he's going to be on the phone,
yes,
so we will not see his Emmy.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he's carrying it around with him. Wearing it like on a chain around his neck. And Brendan Whitted will be in studio with us as we roundtable. All right, let's what do we do this? Wall of Sound. That's what we call it.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, so let's just hear yesterday's gold medal goal.
The outlet pass for Keller, a defenseman. Nice move, cuts to the net, score! Megan Keller, the overtime hero, the United States, wins gold in Milan!
Just incredible. It was awesome to watch. It was a great goal. Honestly, the goal that tied the game, I kind of feel like was the better goal because of how it happened. It's Layla Edwards, who is the face of the future of women's hockey. She and Abby Murphy, but Layla Edwards getting to the middle of the ice, wristing a shot on goal. Hillary Knight, traffic in front. She's one of the GOATs. She's already won gold in Olympic hockey years ago. I think it was it 2014 in Sochi, I think it was, where she won gold. She had the deflection. Deflects it down off the ice. It bounces up and over Canada's goaltender. That ties the game, gets us to overtime, and then Megan Keller wins it with a great goal, kind of passing it around a defenseman to herself. It was awesome. The United States gold medal winners for the third time in women's hockey history, and if the U.S. can beat Slovakia today, we will have USA-Canada for, I believe, the third time in a gold medal match. 2002, gold medal, Salt Lake City. 2010, Vancouver. And now, but the U.S. has to beat Slovakia first. And that will not be easy. All right. To some other things. All right, I saw the story about the Chicago Bears maybe becoming the Indiana Bears. Here's the thing that would bother me is that they would still call themselves Chicago.
Right. Totally fake. What are we doing here?
Like, I don't want to start this conversation just yet. You're a Cubs fan.
Big time.
If the Cubs played their games in Indiana,
mm-hmm.
A, would you still be a Cubs fan?
No.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean, I might. I don't know, because I'm not from the area.
That's the question.
So, yeah.
But for people who are.
Oh, big time. Yeah, I live with one. And he's already told me that he would be a Panthers fan. Just legit. Michael's like, he's a, first off, Bears fan. He's from Illinois.
Right.
He's done if they move to Indiana. He's going to fall all the way into a
Why would he choose the Panthers? Why would he do that to himself? He's been a Bears fan. He has survived that.
I know, exactly.
What is his problem?
Exactly. Well, misery, he's
See, if you really wanted to get back at the Bears,
should be a Panthers
you'd be
fan.
a Packers fan.
Right. Well, exactly. Exactly.
Anyway, Courtney Cronin from ESPN doesn't think it's a done deal that the Bears move to Indiana.
I just want to reiterate, it's not a done deal that they're leaving yet, but the rhetoric around this, considering how many issues they've had with the state of Illinois, you can't fault the Bears for trying to go another path. But they're kind of talking out of both sides of their mouth right now because they just had a very long, very productive, from what I was told, meeting with the state of Illinois to try to move things forward to keep them in Illinois. And then one day later, they're like, yeah, by the way, this bill passed and it gives us a path to get to Indiana if we want to do that. What one man won't, another man will. That is the message here.
All right. All of that is true. And basically, we're just looking at a leverage play as the Bears are trying to get the best deal for themselves, and the state of Illinois, city of Chicago, whatever, they're trying not to get fleeced by billionaires. But I will take umbrage, that's right, I just said that, with you can't fault the Bears because you can. You can always fault owners who are trying to use public money for their benefit. You can always fault owners for that. That doesn't mean that there isn't a public benefit to having that team in your city, for calling that team yours, for all the jobs it creates. There is a public benefit. The debate centers around how much of one, and is it worth allocating tax dollars away from something towards something else when it's really to the benefit primarily of somebody who doesn't need a public handout. That's where I sit. You can always fault the owners. Always. Got mad at David Tepper, right?
Yeah.
How much public monies are going to what Tom Dundon is trying to do with the entertainment district around the arena? Infrastructure mostly, that I get. But I think Tom is doing most of the financing of, like, the district. We'll see. I don't really know how the whole thing plays out, but I think the public should be kind of kept out of it as much as you possibly can. All right, we don't have time. We're going to break. We're going to come back. We're going to roundtable. Chris Lee, WRAL TV 5, Brendan Whitted. We will talk tanking. We will talk college basketball. We got Duke and Michigan coming up on I guess that's tomorrow, 6:30. We got Olympic hockey. A lot of stuff to talk about in the roundtable next.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The world's best athletes in Italy are going for the gold, and 99.9 The Fan will help you follow them for all 16 days of the Winter Games through February 22nd. Listen for all the action from across the Atlantic. Check in often for event finals from Italy and the updated medal count as the USA takes on the world. Updates from the Winter Games on 99.9 The Fan are presented by Wake Med.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and we have the Winter Olympics winding down. But USA, Slovakia for a chance to get to the gold medal game on Sunday. That's going to be big. The United States, a big favorite, -750. No value there, but anytime goal scorer, Tage Thompson, +240. How about Jake Gensel, our old friend? Also, about +270 as we sit here in the morning. Check it out on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Also, there's curling. There's still so many things still to come. And congratulations to Norway for setting the all-time gold medal record with 17 already. FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel.com/local. Play your game. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Are high-interest credit cards and other loans sucking the life out of your finances? It's time to say no more. Let Loan Pronto tap the equity in your home and get the cash you need now so you can pay it all off. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Corey and Jack called Loan Pronto. In a matter of days, they had $160,000. They kept their 3% mortgage intact and didn't even need an appraisal. With all that cash, they wiped out all their credit cards and 2 car loans, saving $2,000 a month. You can do it too. LoanPronto.com. Their rapid equity loan program can get you $100,000, $200,000, even $500,000 in cash. Chloe and Ethan just did it. Consolidated all their high interest debt into one super low monthly payment, giving them an extra $1,000 a month. Imagine, pay off all the credit cards, slash your monthly payments, breathe easier, get your life back. Interest rates are at a 3-year low. Call Loan Pronto, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Breaking news. Multiply the Cash Scratch-Offs are here and have $1 billion in total prizes? Mike's live on the scene.
The word is out, and with so much cash up for grabs, everyone's getting in on this $1 billion. Grandma?
Out of my way, Mikey. Granny's on a roll.
You heard it here first, folks. Get in on $1 billion of wins with new Multiply the Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.01 to 4.82. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Gold. Gold.
I told Jack in the car, you know what the word of the year is? He goes, what? I said it's 6-7. He just laughed.
I know.
It just means nothing, and that's fantastic that it's now the word of the year. What a country.
Can we bring back cool story, bro? That way, us millennials can be like, yeah, cool story, bro. I would love
The Adam Gold Show.
I have not heard this in a minute.
I know, it's a good one. I love this.
Real quick, this was popular. Brendan Whitted is in studio with us. For people watching on YouTube, you can see him already. He's going to be part of the roundtable, so it won't be a surprise when we introduce it. But back when I produced the morning show in Baltimore, we did a transit report, and it was when this song came out.
Nice.
And I thought, well, why don't we just use that?
Got to.
That was our transit
Shout out to
report.
the Mark train.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Mark train. It's got me to be more plenty of times.
In Baltimore, we just had light rail, like what they have in Charlotte. Very similar. I used to ride it to Oriole games, but because I could. All right, let's do the round table.
Camelot. It's only a model.
It's anticlimactic at this time. The Brendan Whitted. What? We have Brendan Marks on the Chiron up there.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Yeah. Brendan Marks somewhere watching the show going, I'm not on today.
He was the last Brendan we had on.
But Brendan Whitted is in studio. And Chris Lee, WRAL TV5 Sports. Second time in a week for you,
Yeah, I owe you a few.
Whatever.
Because I got busy at a certain point. So
just whatever. All right, I appreciate both of you guys doing this. Let's start. I've talked about it a little bit. Adam Silver's going to come up with solutions, he says, to tanking. Chris, you're on the phone, so I'll let you go first. I don't know how many of the solutions you have seen that Adam Silver has come up with, but is there a solution to tanking in the NBA?
Yeah, I think they've tried to do a little bit of it with making sure that players can play 65 games, and if you play under that amount, then you can't get certain bonuses or whatever. I like the idea. I haven't seen all of his ideas, but I do like the idea of maybe there's like a play-in tournament style game for the worst teams at the end of the season. Just have them duke it out, and if you can win those, then you have a higher chance of getting that the number one overall pick. I've also heard Stan Van Gundy say something like, just do away with the draft and have teams sign the best players who are going to become available.
Bid on them.
And I don't necessarily like that idea because I feel like there'll be other unintended consequences that the players won't like. Like, for instance, if you're up for a big max extension and I can possibly get Cooper flagged, then why would I sign you to this max extension? I can get younger and then throw some money at Cooper flag, and then all of a sudden you're going to have, guys who are 7 years in their career not worth anything because of that. So I'm not sure if I like that one, but, I love the whole end-of-the-year play-in type of style.
All right, look.
You want me to I can run through them.
I have them in front of me as well. I've done this long enough. I can poke a hole in every single tactic to stop tanking. Abolishing the draft would certainly stop tanking because there would be no reason to tank. The whole reason teams tank is to get better draft position. But we're never getting rid of the draft.
No.
The draft is a moneymaker for the league. It's a moneymaker for TV. It's a moneymaker for people who cover the league.
Yep.
We're never getting rid of the draft. So
there are also some salary cap implications and stuff when you come, because you get exceptions for your first round picks. And so what happens with that? Like, are you just talking about how much salary cap do you have? Right? Like there's some like non-fun but like logistical stuff that would also have to happen too.
So there are a lot of things here that the NBA came up with.
You know what's going to help the most?
What?
Betting.
That's why. Because the whole point.
Because this has been a problem for a while.
This ain't new.
Yeah.
The whole point the NBA is mad is because they have games right now that are not competitive because one team is not trying to win.
Or even worse, with what's happening in Utah, Utah's up at half, and they start pulling starters that are healthy, and it's fine. And so, like, if you got bets going, no. And
exactly.
Then one of these betting apps is on the phone with Silver. Now, they're going to get through.
Correct.
And so, like, hey, my guy, come here. My guy, come here. So that's what's going to change.
FanDuel has the bat phone to Adam Silver. But here's the thing, because that's the reason why why the NBA has to do something. But I don't think they're serious enough about it to stop it because it could be stopped. If you tank, you don't get your first round pick. Done, gone, or how about a $10 million fine?
I think determining who would be tanking when would be difficult. I do love the idea of punishing Terry Rozier just for doing what the Utah Jazz are doing, right? Like, you got to pick a lane. It's one or the other, right? Like, he's self-tanking. He's a leader, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to be a leader. I don't understand why y'all can't get behind my boy Terry. So I don't understand what that's about.
That's funny.
But I love the idea.
Jonte Porter wants a word.
I love the idea.
Players.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I know players would hate this, but I think one of the reasons you don't see a lot of purposeful tanking in the NFL is because there's a lot of incentive-laden contracts. If you can figure out a way to do that in the next CBA for the players in the NBA, like, you've got to log this amount of minutes, you got to hit this amount of threes, you have to do whatever to get this air, or if we get to the playoffs, then you get this big of a bonus. You'll see a lot more players play a lot more, and you won't have as much tanking as you see right now. I think it'll make games a lot better as well.
I would like to distinguish, though, when we're talking about tanking, we're talking about the organizations. We're not talking about the play. Well, outside of Rozier, but like we're not talking about the players actually not trying as hard.
The players are cool with it, though. The players are going to push back, like, no. I need to get my extra $1.5 million. I need to play this game.
I mean, well, they do have incentives already, and those guys are playing for their next contract. Everybody in the NBA is playing for their next contract.
Right, but I think in the NFL, where the careers are much shorter, right? And even though you've got giant rosters, if you look at how much money some of these guys make, like let's just say the top half of each roster, it's probably less than that, but the top half, you're talking about guys making $3 million or more, right? But really the last 25, 30, 40 guys on an NFL roster, because that's really what we're talking about because of all the injuries and everything. We are talking about players who need the paycheck, which, again, different issue, is why they have the weakest union among professional sports. Too many guys need the paycheck. And I think you're not going to see tanking because that would cause a team to say, I don't need that. We don't need even the thought of somebody not giving their all for one reason or another. NFL players would not do that. NBA, I'm not saying that there's a different level of human.
Well, but there's also the injury concern in football is different from
the careers are just so short.
It's so difficult. I think the easiest one that Silver proposed, or at least talked about, I don't know if it's an official proposal, is flattening the thing and giving everybody one ping pong ball. It's not going to completely eliminate it.
That's the way we had the lottery.
It's not going to completely eliminate it, but it's going to make it better. No. A second thing, though, they have to make the lottery public. Like, after the Cooper Flag thing, I think a lot of teams, and I think Shams had this report, like, there are team owners now that think, you know what? None of the thing about Luka getting traded getting traded for Anthony Davis 2, and then magically I had a 1.7% chance of getting it 3 made any sense. So Occam's razor, the math ain't math, and that dog don't hunt.
So, like, when the Knicks now we all know about the frozen envelope, whatever. But when the Knicks got Patrick Ewing in 1985, every team in the lottery had the same chance. Did we pull your card out of the bin?
Yeah.
Right? Now, every team gets one ping pong ball.
Yeah.
That's what they should do.
Yep.
Right? If we're going to have a lottery, waiting it to give teams at the bottom, that's where they started down this slippery slope. Every team gets the same chance in the lottery, get one ping pong ball. We watch it like the Cash 5.
Yeah.
I don't know, Chris, when do we pull lotteries, the lottery numbers on WRAL?
It's like 3 something every afternoon, and also 11:20 every night.
Nice.
Something like that.
By the way, you should put that red tuxedo jacket on and do it.
You know what? I was close to doing the lottery actually at one point.
Oh, really?
That's another story for another
All right.
day.
Well, I'll put a pin in that, and we'll come back to it. But then, we'll just whatever ping pong ball comes up, you get the first pick.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, that's the way. Honestly, that's the way they should do it.
And you would have teams like the Hornets. I don't know if we're going to be in play-in, maybe first, but like the teams that are close to making the playoffs, suddenly if they get a number 1 pick, that means that they are now in the mix to be a championship contender soon, right? It's hard if you're a terrible team, even if you have the number 1 pick, you're not going to magically, unless you're a LeBron or one of these all-time greats, you're not going to magically even be in the mix then. But if you were able to incentivize the teams that are right on the cusp, that they can now get it, maybe that changes and gives you a few more people. If you're gunning for parity, I think that's probably a better way to accomplish it.
What also, this is weird. I just literally just thought of it. Major League Baseball's draft is in July.
Mm-hmm.
The draft order is determined after the previous season. What if we did that?
Huh.
What if the draft, and I actually have not thought this through all the way. What if the draft order was determined the previous year? Not the one we just completed, but the year before. So,
right, that is true, and then you wouldn't even know what's coming around the bend in any sort of
you would have an idea,
but you would. That is very, very true, and that is one of they kind of split the baby on that one because they're talking about at whatever halfway is All-Star game. That would be
trade deadline.
Yeah, that would be the determination for the draft order.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like. No, you can't get a top 4 pick back-to-back years. You can't, if you finish in the bottom 3, you can't get a top 4 pick in both of those seasons. Those can happen organically. That has nothing to do with tanking.
Yeah, that's very true.
Your organization just sucks. Here's what I would.
That's right. As a Hornets fan, my team was an original loser.
Right.
But not intentionally. We were just inept as a franchise.
We're just bad at it.
Exactly. We're just bad.
And Chris, I'll throw this to you. Do you remember the trust the process that Philadelphia tried to do?
I absolutely remember that.
Did that work? Did that work?
Remember that.
Did that work?
I felt like it worked for like 2 years. And
Did
then everybody
it just got
injured.
them a lot of high picks. They didn't do anything with it.
I mean, they got some stars, and they could have gotten more capital for it. And I think that Philadelphia is in a better place right now for it. But I mean, you obviously the Ben Simmons thing didn't work out.
Nor did the Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, Markelle Fultz didn't work out. But you did get Joel Embiid, and he's injured a lot. So, but at least you're able to build around him. And they have a little bit better of a team for it. It just didn't work out as far as a championship is concerned. But, I wouldn't say it was a complete failure. It was somewhat of a failure, but I think it also kind of helped them, advance their franchise just a little bit.
It's funny. The only franchise that tanking ever worked for are the Houston Astros. In baseball, where we all know that the first overall pick in the draft has about the same chance of being great as the 20th overall pick. We just don't know. And a lot of times the first pick we know isn't the best player. He's just the most signable player for that team. But the Astros actually pulled it off.
That's a really good
No other, because I would say that for Philadelphia, losing that many years in a row.
Yeah.
And being that bad, intentionally bad. And then, of course, they fired the guy who did all that.
They did. Because that's the
that
other
it didn't
part.
really
People
work.
forget, like, there are human beings making these decisions who have mortgages, who have
Yeah.
rent, who have family. Like, you can't just indefinitely lose and expect to keep your job.
You're right. All right, back to Chris Lee. Duke, Michigan, Chris. Thoughts?
It's going to be the toughest test for Duke this year, but also the toughest test for Michigan this year. And it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. If Duke wants to get a win, I think they're going to have to stay out of foul trouble. We saw what that did to them at Carolina. Their bigs have to absolutely be available and on the court the entire time, just so they can go up against Michigan and their bigs. And then also I think that, I feel like, Cam Boozer is going to put up his numbers. He's going to have at least 18 and 10, so we're not worried about that. Outside of that, I do think you need to have two players that need to score at least 14 or more for Duke. And who's that going to be? Is it going to be Isaiah Evans? Is it going to be Caleb Foster? And I think the one thing that Duke maybe potentially has to their advantage is they were able to show over the last couple of years with their size and length, they could make things very tough for Elliot Cadeau. But Elliot Cadeau also has the keys to a lot better of a team than what he did the last couple of years. So if you could also try to rattle him a little bit, because he has been rattled. Let's go back to the ACC tournament last year in Charlotte. He got a little rattled against Patrick Gongwa. Then maybe he starts making some plays that's not good for Michigan. But Duke absolutely needs their bigs available, and two of their guards absolutely need to step up and score at least 14 each.
All right, I'm glad you brought up Elliot Cadeau, because that's where I was going to throw it to you, Brendan. The Cadeau that we saw, and I got into back and forth with a good friend of mine about Cadeau, and I was just saying that I'll take Derek Dixon over Elliot Cadeau because I haven't unseen Elliot Cadeau from those first 2 years. This Elliot Cadeau has been a lot different. Team around him is much better than he had last couple of years with Carolina. And the reason I like Derek Dixon, I realize he's a freshman and Cadeau is a junior, but Dixon, to me, in the biggest moments, has come up with the goods. Cadeau, I know how fragile it has been for him. If that Cadeau is no longer here, then we're dealing with a different animal, because we know how good that Cadeau can be. Your thoughts on Cadeau?
I got, as a UNC fan, I kept watching Hubert Davis try to shoehorn him in there. Like, no, he's going to be the guy. No, go ahead and take those threes. I'm like, he's shooting 22%. So as a UNC fan, I got tired of waiting for Cadeau.
Oh,
there it is.
Yes.
Look at what I did there.
Mark the time, Victoria.
Because it's a book.
Mark the time.
But no, I am happy that he's doing well. Like, legitimately, I was very vocal about, I just didn't want him on my team anymore. I was just like, hey, this isn't working. And
who did you want out more, him or Caleb Love?
Oh man, Caleb Love at least was show like he would.
Caleb Love won those games
like
against
Caleb
Duke.
Love, like yes, he would have those erratic, those like, oh, I'm just going to pull up from anywhere. Like his shot diet was terrible. But like you see him in the pro, he's a good player. Like he was at least. I knew he was an NBA player when I watched him. Yes, his decision making was poor, but you can work with that. Cadeau just shot so poorly, and he wanted the ball in his hands all the time. It's hard to have a guy with the ball in his hands all the time who can't shoot. Right, like that's just it's a difficult thing.
That's Ben Simmons.
Yeah. Everybody starts sagging back,
and
now all of a sudden you got 1.5 guys on everybody and nobody on you, and so it just made the half court offense so stagnant. And so watching him play in Michigan, look, he was always a really good athlete. As you mentioned, he's got better guys around him, and it's opened up some of those driving lanes for him because he could finish around the cup. The problem was no one respected him enough as a scorer to like really open up some of those lanes, not only for himself but for others. But legitimately, I'm super happy that he's doing well. I'm also super happy he's not doing it, no longer bouncing on basketball in Carolina blue.
He is playing for the number one team in the country, and he's got cover. There are games where Elliot Cadeau has not had his fastball, and Michigan could go, all right, we don't need you right now.
Right.
We're going to bring in the other guy. And their depth, their size, I mean, they're obviously incredible.
I think Duke wins, though. I really do.
Really?
Man, Duke is – I follow a lot of Duke a lot of Duke people on my timeline.
Ooh.
And I do. I mean,
It's fine.
I can overlook some things
that.
about human beings, but like they want to come in with the no one believes in this thing.
Who
like,
said that?
Oh, it's been up and down my timeline. Oh no one thinks we got a shot. It's like, come on, man. You're like one of the top 5 teams in the nation, easy, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on, what are we doing? Like, you can't have this many all world players, and then I'm going to feel bad.
For years, Alabama and
you?
Georgia always
Yeah.
created a scenario where everybody was doubting them. Chris, who you like in this game?
It's tough. I feel like I'm leaning a little bit towards Michigan, but that's not because I'm out on Duke. Like it's really one of those things. It feels like the last 2 minutes of this game is really going to determine the winner and whoever decides to show up then.
Well, that's not good for Duke.
I think actually, it's not that bad for Duke. We have 2 examples where it didn't go well with them, but we have 8 other examples where they won against AP top 25 teams, and they've done well. Like, look at the Florida game.
Right.
They can let teams come back in, but they also know how to close because a lot of their games haven't been blowouts, and so they have been able to close a lot. And we just only have 2 examples of it not going their way. I really do think that the foul trouble and the availability of the bigs are going to have, and the rebounding, it's going to have a lot to do with what the end of that game is going to be. Michigan, I don't know. I feel like Michigan has a small advantage right now just because I think they have more in that front line to throw at Duke than what Duke has to throw at them.
Yeah, the thing about the Blue Devils, and I worry about Duke's, like, in the NCAA tournament. I worry about Duke's backcourt.
That's fair.
I worry about the overall quickness of Foster and Caden Boozer. I like it when they play them together. I actually think it mitigates that when they play them together. But one guy with Isaiah Evans at the 2, and I think you can expose them a little bit. But their big lineup is defensively awesome because they'll clean the glass. Malik Brown gets his hands everywhere. I sort of think the key to that team is the guys that you don't expect. Nick Himenia now starting to shoot the ball. Just to give them another look. Evans, since benched at the beginning of the second half at Pitt, different player. I don't care what anybody says, including my friend Chris Carrawell, the assistant coach at Duke, who we talked to yesterday about this. I believe he's a different player since that. They can tell me all day long that it wasn't motivational. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Because I think that we have seen a different lock-in from Evans since not starting the second half. Playing time is still the most powerful tool a head coach has.
Unless you're Bill Self and you have Peterson, who's your
That's our last topic here. I just want to get this. We only really just a couple of more minutes. Brendan Whitted, Chris Lee, here on the Roundtable. Do you really think a team wouldn't draft? Brendan, do you think a team wouldn't draft Peterson, one, because he's pulled himself out of the lineup a few times against for Kansas?
I think he's legitimately hurt. Like, I don't think he's doing, like, I've heard this idea about he's trying to load manage. He's had multiple different sorts of lower body injuries.
Sure.
Now, that would, if I'm drafting one, yes. That is a different thing. Like, if you're injury prone, cool. But the idea that, like, he's big, trying to big time Bill Self, and I didn't like the implication from Coach Self there. You don't need to do that publicly. Like, if you want to chastise him, you want to talk, okay, cool. I don't know why you're putting this as a thing on Front Street, because now are you trying to motivate him to play through injury? Because I don't think that's a good idea either, right? Like, if he's legitimately hurt, and he had it going. Like, no one's going to pull, like, even the most selfish player, if you got it going, you're not going to just pull yourself out. You're not going to tap your helmet and be like, get me out. Like, I think he's legitimately hurt. He's had multiple injuries. I didn't like how that was handled from just an organizational standpoint. I honestly expected better from Coach Self.
Chris? Darren Peterson?
I mean, pulling himself out of games, certain games, refusing to play, things like that. Sounds like he's already an NBA player and he's going to fit right in. So why not go ahead and draft him number 1 overall, because you already have guys on your roster that's doing that. This is just the next guy in the line who is already very much so talented and can help you out. I still think there's value in getting him number 1 overall. I don't think, and honestly speaking, I was never necessarily sold on him as the number 1 overall pick this entire season.
Agreed.
He's definitely a top 3 pick. to me, you really have to look at, A.J. DeBonsa, Cam Boozer, or even Caleb Wilson in that mix being number one, depending on what you need for your particular franchise, and whoever ends up getting it. So, I'm not out on Darren Peterson being a top 3 pick, and maybe not even 3, maybe 2. I just never really saw him as the one.
He's a point.
That's interesting. I see him as a wing, but I mean, look, we're getting closer and closer to this. Positionless.
There's no point guards anymore.
He'll be your lead guard for sure in some situations because he can go get it. Like he's a guy that you're like, oh, it's 6 seconds left on shot clock. Just go do your thing. You can't always say that about freshmen, especially freshmen, but rookies coming in. I feel confident that he can do those things.
But Caleb Wilson, take him number one.
Oh, I would. Like I think that's KG right there. To me, that's I like he got that dog in him. Like I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't even like. Silver, don't even worry about it, bro. I just yell it from the stage. Hey, bro, him right there.
Chris Lee, WRAL TV5. Where's your Emmy?
It's at home right now. I don't
carry
have
it with you.
Me. I'm out and about.
Should carry it with you.
I heard what you said earlier. I don't know if I could wear it as a chain or anything like that, but
By the way,
we'll see. We'll see what we can come up with.
I didn't like the fact that I said that, but
I'd put it on.
Whatever.
I mean,
it's beautiful.
It would be my profile pic for sure.
Well, it still is mine on Twitter. It's just the picture of the Emmy. That's the only thing that's on Twitter. It's just the picture of the Emmy. Chris Lee, WRAL TV5, Brendan Whitted, Hoop Guru. Thanks to both of you guys.
Thanks, man.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll rewind next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. You've made it to Friday, and FanDuel wants to help you celebrate with an NBA happy hour that's so amazing that it's 90 minutes long. That's right, a happy hour and a half starting at 6 o'clock Eastern all the way to 7:30, and you've got tons of NBA things that you can wager on, and they've got incentives for you. The NBA happy hour every Friday. It's the NBA happy hour and a half. Every Friday, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. FanDuel.com/local. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and maximum wager amounts. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Hear interviews that go beyond the headlines with guests who know North Carolina best. Listen on the radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Practicing a championship way can happen 100% of every day, on the track and when traveling highways. A law of sportsmanship includes taking the high road when going away and returning home. Buckle up your seatbelt in the front and back seats. Every seat, every time. Each time you click it, it counts as a winning ticket. Demonstrate your championship drive through your safety practice and stay on the winning track. This message was brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program and the North Carolina High School Athletic Association.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
You know the only feeling sweeter than opening a college acceptance letter? Knowing that you'll be able to pay for tuition however far you go. The first step? Completing the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA for short. Find out how much money for college you qualify for. Grants, scholarships, and other opportunities are waiting. How far can you go? Find out at cfnc.org/FAFSA 101.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Gold. Gold.
I told Jack in the car, you know what the word of the year is? He goes, what? I said it's 6-7. He just laughed.
I know.
It just means nothing, and that's fantastic that it's now the word of the year. What a country.
Can we bring back cool story, bro? That way, us millennials can be like, yeah, cool story, bro. I would love that.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Oh, boy. It has, social media is taking over in the aftermath of Canada-Finland.
Oh.
Canada winning 3-2. Yeah, there's a lot of people who think that Canada got away with some questionable decisions. And this is not, by the way, this is not disparaging towards Canada at all. Nobody is accusing the players of anything.
No.
But
even
should
though
have been.
Canada's got a reputation of cheating.
Well, I just saw one of the funniest things. It does to me look like Macklin Celebrini's offside.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, it's not definitive enough.
Right.
But it looks to me like his skate is inside the blue line before the puck.
Yeah.
But it's honestly, I understand why they basically said, yeah, good goal, because it's hard to tell. The color of the blue line, based on what we can see, because of the fact that there's a lot of shaved ice kind of blurring it, I can see where it is difficult to tell exactly where the blue line ends and Macklin Celebrini's skate is. I am not against allowing the goal to stand at all. I would not be too butthurt about that. But it does kind of look like Celebrini's skate is just inside the line, and they have Mark Kennedy, the curler for Canada. They have him with his finger on Celebrini's stick on his skate.
The internet
so
can
good.
be fantastic sometimes.
Sometimes Twitter wins.
Mm-hmm.
But Yoel Armia, who I guess does now play for Anaheim. I'm not sure exactly which he used to play for. Montreal. Doesn't play for Montreal anymore, I don't believe. I don't know. It might be St. Louis. He said basically should have been goaltender interference. Canada scored one goal 5-on-5. They scored one 5-on-5 goal. It should have been goaltender interference. I understand that too. Again, just to go back to the play, if you'll see it later. And I think if we're just looking at the goal, I think it's not goaltender interference, because by that point, Jussi Saros, Finland's goalie, I believe has more than enough time to reset and play. However, the entire sequence where the interference of Brad Marchand occurs, which I think you could also say was influenced by Erik Haula of Finland. Marchand goes into the crease on his own. Haula, I think, influences Marchand, if not outright shoves him over on top of Saros. But in that, if they determine that Marchand is responsible for that because he comes into the crease on his own, then the play is allowed to continue because Saros at that point is interfered with. Because that was the initial shot, and he didn't glove it down. He stopped it, but I think the contact from Marchand puts that puck back in play. So, I don't know how it works. Honestly, I don't know how you would even litigate that out. But to me, that's where the goaltender interference could have been called, and not where the goal, because again, it was the next shot that ultimately was the goal. And in that case, I think Saros had more than enough time to reestablish position and stop the goal. But I understand also the frustration of Finland. And oh, by the way, Teemu Selanne, Finnish legend.
Salami?
Yeah.
Sorry, people's names are like, oh, Salami.
Teemu Selanne said, or Selanne, depending on who you're talking with, said beating the greatest hockey country in the world and Canadian referees same night is impossible, I guess. Absolutely embarrassing penalty, 90 seconds to go in Olympic semifinal. What a joke. I did not see the penalty. I can't tell you what that penalty was. And there was embellishment throughout the game. There's no doubt about it. I thought it's very possible that the penalty for the high stick on, I believe it was Anton Lundell, who high sticked his teammate, Brad Marchand, that while, yep, the stick was high, Marchand's reaction to it was delayed and embellished. So I get it. But I also think it was a high sticking penalty. I did not see the penalty on which Nathan MacKinnon scored the power play goal. We talked to Cory Lavalette earlier. He did bring up a good point that Saros might have been tired because he had been put through it in the second and third periods. 31 combined shots for Canada in those two periods. Or, as we say here, 3 times the number of shots that Brandon Bussey faces in a single game. But I do think that Saros should have stopped the MacKinnon goal. I mean, you're one of the best goalies in the world. You had time. You were on your post, but you weren't really on your post. Was it a great shot? Yep, it was. Nobody wants to see that go in. And again, just to use this as an example, Hurricanes fans, had Freddie Anderson allowed that goal, you would have all given birth. All of you.
Yeah.
All of you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do a quick rewind. I asked Cory Lavalette because I was rooting for Hurricanes. I was rooting for Jarvis. I was rooting for Aho in this game. I thought Sebastian Aho was really good. Didn't play enough for me. And Seth Jarvis played about 8 minutes. Did not play a lot. I asked Cory Lavalette what he thought of Seabass.
I think it was a bit of a slow start.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he came out in the first game of the whole tournament and looked like the best player on the ice for the first, 10 minutes of the game against Slovakia, and then he kind of disappeared. But I think he's been really good. At times I think he was Finland's best player.
Yep.
Rantanen's obviously an amazing player. Heiskanen's an amazing player, but I thought really, pretty impactful all around the ice. And it's tough playing. They were often against that McDavid, McKinnon, Celebrini line, which is just insane. But they were matching up with them, and they matched up well against them at 5-on-5. I didn't, they obviously had their chances. I didn't even, to be honest, love that line for Canada, just because it felt like nobody knew who to, which guy should be taking over a little bit.
Right. There was a lot of, and I brought the numbers back before. There was a ton of Celebrini, McDavid, and McKinnon on the ice in the last two periods. All right, one more thing for Cory Lavalette. I asked him about the Brandon Bussey contract. Your thoughts?
Yeah, great deal for the Hurricanes, I think. I think they were smart that they engaged him early. They didn't get out of October before, they started talks about, hey, we want to keep you around. And obviously that discussion changes and they couldn't do anything until January anyway. So as he's piling up wins, I'm sure Eric Tulsky's holding his breath and saying, well, thank God we're piling up wins, but at the same time, I don't know, maybe you lose one or two every once in a while.
Yeah.
But a great deal, and I think the fact that they engaged so early, that a framework I think had been discussed pretty early on,
right.
That with him playing the way he has and having the success he has, they were still working off of that framework, and that helped them keep this. I mean, he's getting paid, less against the cap than Kochetkov will be paid next year. That's, they could essentially go into next year at $3.9 million against the cap for their two top goalies. That's crazy.
What is your read on his play through 27 starts?
Yeah, I mean, Jesse Granger at The Athletic had a great story talking about the technical things he does that make him different and makes him successful. And I would encourage everyone to read it because it's really, really well done about how when he moves side to side, he's not just going side to side, he's moving out to attack, to cut off the angle, to get to that puck quicker. Just little things he does that it's amazing that he had success all throughout his AHL career, but he's an undrafted guy. We've seen, obviously Stephen Lawrence hasn't had the success of a Brandon Bussey, but you see that these guys that have, get overlooked a little bit, have success at every level, they tend to get to the NHL, and it's not a big deal to them. They've kind of climbed the ladder slowly in their own way, and just really impressed with him. There's obviously another step coming that he's going to have to, figure out. There's going to be, especially if they get into a tough series against a physical team, there's going to be bumping and, mind games and all those things, and we'll see how he handles it.
Look, the playoffs are always a different animal. We have no idea what's going to happen, but I think, and I said this, whether it was Wednesday or yesterday or on the Canes Corner podcast, and the most recent Canes Corner podcast is about Brandon Bussey and his contract. We also present the Brandon Bussey interview that we did here on Wednesday. It's there, so if you're a Canes Corner podcast listener, you should go check that out. I think the baseline is, at the worst, he is a reliable backup goaltender. That's the worst. Obviously, we know what the best might end up being. Victoria, thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's a Friday, y'all, so it's